Prince Harry has settled a lawsuit against British tabloids for invasion of privacy.
Rupert Murdoch Publications have made an unprecedented apology to Prince Harry and will pay him a substantial sum for settling the litigation, the first time the news group newspapers has acknowledged wrongdoing at The Sun. The statement even went beyond the scope of the suit to acknowledge intruding on the life of Harry's mother, the late Princess Diana. Despite family opposition, the case was one of 3 suits brought by Harry, accusing British tabloids of violating his privacy through eavesdropping on private phone messages or use of private investigators. George Williams reporting.
German police say 2 people are dead, 2 others injured in a stabbing attack in Bavaria. Police say a suspect has been detained in the knife attack. It occurred in a park. They say they don't know the motive for the attack, but they add it was not a case of terrorism. Train service in the town temporarily stopped. The suspect tried to flee police along the tracks. News and analysis. Townhall.com. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik vowing to demand reforms and transparency if confirmed as the next U.S. United Nations ambassador.
Stefanik, the 4th-ranking Republican in the House of Representatives in the last Congress, vowed to utilize her skills as a lawmaker to scrutinize the funding provided to the UN and to cut the budget provided if necessary. Stefanik said in her opening statement, quote, "If confirmed, I will work to ensure that our mission in the United Nations serves the interests of the American people and represents President Trump's America First Peace Through Strength foreign policy." Some Republican senators raised the possibility of slashing funding to the UN during Stefanik's hearing, while Democrats on the committee voiced concern about adversary nations taking control of the body if the U.S. cedes influence. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
5 elephants at a Colorado zoo may be majestic, to quote the court, but do not have the legal right to pursue their release since they're not human. That's the ruling from Colorado's highest court. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio. Yeah!
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy middle of the week, everybody.
Yep.
Happy Wednesday.
Hopefully the tail end of the cold snap.
You know what? Yeah, I think it's we're gonna see a little bit of normalcy in the wet temperatures today. 50.
Looking forward to that, man. My faucet's been on nonstop.
Yeah, it's been I was using the facility, and I was sitting there. It was quiet in the house, but then I was like, I kept hearing the doop, doop, and for a whole minute I was like, leaking. Then it dawned, oh yeah. but yes, I think. But at night you still might, because even though we're getting 50s, it's still dropping in the 20s at night for the time being. So chilly adjacent.
Yes.
Maybe we'll go with it. So
winter in the desert.
Yeah. So I apologize. I think I got a stomach bug yesterday. I started feeling bad, and I ain't gonna lie, I won't be here. I won't be here today.
Supposed to be here today.
So we're gonna get through the show. After that, I'm probably going to bed.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for me after the show, probably you're not gonna find me. No. But that being said, we are going to replay some interviews in the 7 and 8. Crystal Noble with the Humane Society will join us in the 9. So we'll that's actually a blessing to me a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I need it. I just don't feel good.
I understand. It's one of those things when, the teacher's working off like a hangover. they wheel in the TV cart.
Well, that's at least with The Hangover, you at least had the pleasure of enjoying something before.
I did this to myself. But yeah,
This one,
the
that's like,
stomach bug, you're like, oh,
what'd I do? Yeah.
My wife's profession did this to me.
Probably, but I don't know. Who knows? I mean, I just, all I know is from November till about March, I'm just constant. I usually have a cold or something, and then I'll get usually one of these every, seems like a season or so. And then of course, I take meds and things that create my own little fun things. So it's just a pleasure getting old.
Yep. Then you got to take other meds to counteract those meds.
Right.
And,
the webs we weave.
Next thing you know, you're a walking science experiment.
That's right. Yeah, this is this doesn't matter to anyone around here, but it was just something that kind of got me yesterday, and it kind of I'm a radiophile. I've listened to radio since a little kid. I mean, probably the reason I'm doing what I'm doing today. But back in DC, I like to listen to the sports radio and all that, and there's a couple sports shows. But there's back when I was younger, it was the talk station. That's when they had Stern and G. Gordon Liddy and all that nonsense.
Don and Mike and all that.
Yeah, Don and Mike and all that. Well, that station has since, in the last 15 years or so, flipped over to sports talk, and which in a city that has sports teams, those stations
that
work.
actually means something.
Yeah, and it's in places like here that don't have sports teams, sports station's not a good idea. Just note to programmers out there. But anyway, there was a guy, Pete on Sports, man, and this guy was just this dude on there that he did the sports updates, but he also called games. He was literally a jack of all trade, master of them all in all sports things. Like he announced games for Navy there in Annapolis. He would do he would call horse races at Rosecroft Raceway.
Wow.
Which is where in Pimlico, I think.
That's a significant thing too.
Yeah.
That's not an easy call.
Yeah, and so he did all of that. He umpired youth sports, and but anyway, he was just this dude of all sports. But he was just kind of like, if you listen to DC sports, to me, he was just kind of one of those staples, And he had just died suddenly from I think suddenly to the listeners, he got diagnosed with cancer, and I think it was an aggressive form, and so he kind of disappeared for a while. And I remember seeing people saying, "Hey, where's Pete? I ain't seen Pete in a while. Pete's been in," and I don't listen to DC anymore, so I don't get to follow every day like do. And so I was just seeing all the stuff that he died and was reading. So I was just kind of bummed, man. I was like, man, that's kind of it's like those things that you just have as staples in your life. Not even necessarily growing up, but just are part of it.
Yeah.
And because Pete wasn't around when I was a kid, but certainly in later youth, he was around. So
I get that to a lesser degree because like when Paul Harvey passed, that was a staple in my house growing up. My parents loved, every day they would listen to the updates.
Yeah.
And so that was a staple in my house, and that was a big part of my radio upbringing was the Paul Harvey Daily Update. And when we found out he passed away, that was a tough one.
Matter of fact, when I did the morning show in Artesia for 8 years, I would say so we carried Paul Harvey in my show during that time, and so I was there for the end of it. So I caught where he was starting to get sick. And then when I think his son started filling in, and then they had that actor that was a congressman. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He kind of filled in for some of the Paul Harvey shows.
I remember a few of the fill-ins.
TJ, JT. He used to play like a lawyer or cop a lot on like TV shows. And then he was a U.S. I can't remember if he was a senator or a representative, but he was in Congress. TJ or JT Walsh or TJ Walsh or something. I can't remember what his name was, but something like that. But anyway, he was one of the hosts of one of those guest hosts for a while. And I think he was going to do the show for a minute, and then he announced his run for Congress, I think, and then he backed out. But I think he was going to be slated to be the permanent host or something.
It says, after Paul Harvey's death in 2009, several people filled in for him, including Gil Gross, Doug Limerick, and Mike Huckabee. From the inception, the scripts for the series have been drafted by the broadcast and the broadcast produced by Harvey's son, Paul Harvey Jr.,
right,
who in later years of his father's career actually acted as a substitute host.
Right.
So,
But no, I'm also remember what's his name was going to be doing, J.T. Walsh or whatever his name. He was doing some of those shows in there. Because I think, and this was after, I think Paul Harvey died.
Right.
Like he was like maybe one of the ones that they were, before they said, now we're going to put the kibosh on it. He was going to maybe carry it on or something. I don't remember all the details. But anyway, I need to get things going here. So, in more ways than one.
Quite frankly, I'm done talking.
It is 7:13. Let me give you the rundown. We're going to replay our interview we had with Madi Menchenko with Tai Chi for Health. And she also brought in Phil Markin, one of her students, with her. And just talking about Tai Chi, they're starting their beginner classes up again here in February. And they've still got but over at the Salvation Army, they're doing weekly classes and things here in Roswell. They also do classes in Ruidoso, too. But anyway, we're going to play our interview we had with them yesterday. In the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to play our interview we had on Monday with Doctors Keon and Sarah from Carabelli Dental. Just talking, it's the first time they've joined us since the reopen and the flooding and all the things that kind of gone down in their world. Since,
and they have been busy.
Yeah. So we're going to play that interview for you here. And then Crystal Noble with the Humane Society will join us here in the 9 o'clock hour to give us an update on the animals and all that good stuff. So, But before we do any of that, let's take a gander at your weather. A kinder, gentler weather than what you've been experiencing. Woo-hoo. But still cold.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're in good shape for the next 2 days. High pressure is overhead. Pretty comfortable daytime highs today in the mid-50s, and we'll get sunshine. Upper teens for the overnight low tonight and clear with a little cold front moving through. We'll get sunshine on Thursday, and we'll be hitting about 40 on the afternoon high, so we'll be cooling off a little bit. Then we bounce back to the mid-50s with sunshine Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 18 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 65%. Winds are calm at the moment. For today, sunny skies and 54 for a high. Winds will be out of the west, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Overnight low of 18. So like I said, it's still getting cold overnight. Winds will be out of the north, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, tomorrow we're going to be a little colder. We're back down into like 40. Partly cloudy, then gradually becoming sunny. They say our high is 39 tomorrow. Winds will be out of the north at around 5 miles per hour. Thursday night, we're looking at clear skies, another cold night, 16 for an overnight low. Winds will be out of the southeast at 5 miles per hour. Friday, we're back up into the mid-50s, sunny and 54. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 25. And then 51 and partly cloudy for Saturday, sunny and 49 for Sunday. So enjoy today. It'll get a little cool tomorrow, and then another couple days of a little bit more milder daytime temps anyway. All right, 7:16. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then we're going to play our interview with Madi and Phil from Tai Chi Institute. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
You have a life, places to go, things to do, people to see, but it's hard to enjoy life when you have pain. You don't have to live that way. Softwave Therapy from Premier Chiropractic in Roswell can help you. Softwave's cutting-edge technology is non-invasive and can help your body heal. This new technology uses therapeutic energy waves to activate the body's dormant stem cells to promote natural healing. Sessions are quick with short treatment times. Start healing today. Call Premier Chiropractic at 623-2900 or visit healthyroswell.com.
Time to trade in and trade up in 2025 with Roswell Honda. With a fresh new lineup of vehicles and great rates that mean you can trade up and save. Like a new 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid, just 4.9% for 48 months, 2.9% for 36 months on new Pilot and Ridgeline, and 2.9% for up to 60 months on new 2025 Honda Accord. So hurry in before the savings pass you by. Trade in, trade up, and save at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Check out some of the savings you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. Select varieties of Food Club low-fat yogurt are 3 for $1, and select bags of Food Club breakfast cereals are $3.88 each. In produce, cluster tomatoes are $1.99 a pound, and snack-size Hass avocados are 4 for $1. In the meat department, family packs of boneless, skinless chicken tenders are $1.99 a pound, and quarter loin pork chops are $1.69 a pound. These are just some of the bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
Altrusa is excited to announce, along with partners Dion's Pizza and Hobby Lobby, a book blitz. The book blitz will be Saturday, February 8th from 10 to noon at Dion's Pizza and Hobby Lobby Roswell locations. They'll be collecting new and gently used children's books to be placed in the Altrusa-sponsored Little Free Libraries. Altrusa distributes books for local projects and organizations throughout the year. Your help in stocking up our children's books would be greatly appreciated. Please join the Altrusa Club Saturday, February 8th at Dion's Pizza and Hobby Lobby in Roswell to help support the book blitz.
Picture this. You're behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor. You're effortlessly breaking ground, moving piles of rocks just by moving a lever, and enjoying the sun as you clear brush across your pasture. We could keep trying to put you in the moment, but to really understand what this feels like, you just have to get in the seat.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
Central Valley Electric is continually learning and advancing technology that improves electric service, reliability, and safety, and in turn enhancing the quality of life for members that we serve in our local communities. CVE offers an account management program called Smart Hub that allows members to track their usage, set up convenient pay methods, and the ability to manage their energy use with smart technologies. A secure system such as Smart Hub is an easy tool to use. To sign up, visit cvecoop.org and click Smart Hub to get started.
If you plug your nose, you can't tell the difference between an apple, potato, and an onion, unless you open your eyes. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, it's been a minute since we've had a chance to talk to her, but Mari Manchenko back with us from the Tai Chi for Health Institute.
Right. Hi.
Good morning.
Hi, Mike. Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm very good.
Great.
Thank you.
And you also brought one of our one of your students here today as well, Phil Markin as well. Good morning, sir. How are you doing today?
Morning. I'm doing great.
Good deal. Well, so for folks that don't know, if we've maybe just never heard, but Mana, you've been talking to us for years now, offering Tai Chi for Health Institute classes all over, really not just Roswell, but Rito. So kind of Pecos Valley area here a little bit over the years. And so, and you really specialize in making Tai Chi for everybody and focusing on the health side for it. And regardless of your health status, regardless of your age, regardless of your physical condition, regardless of any of that, Tai Chi can benefit you.
Yes.
And that's what you like to, whether you're in a wheelchair, no problem. If you have a walker, that ain't a hurdle.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
There's nothing to really prevent you. And that's kind of your jam, so to speak, is to allow and to show the world of Tai Chi to how this can provide overall health benefits for and I know certain things it's like, well, we're not officially allowed to advertise, but you're seeing so many symptoms of issues, health issues, stroke stuff, heart stuff, whatever it is, people are seeing benefits from just doing Tai Chi.
Well, we really are allowed to advertise because it's considered an evidence-based program.
I know a lot of times it's science, but
science
whenever you get
exists.
FDA involved in things, and you know how that goes. But
Well, for here in particular, the New Mexico Department of Health recommends this program, and the Center for Disease Control and the Arthritis Foundation, and now the Veterans Administration. They have been
so more and more
suggesting
getting
Tai
on board.
Chi, but this program in particular,
And why it works is because, obviously skill level. If you've never walked in and done Tai Chi before, you're not going to go in there and be a Tai Chi master all of a sudden. But regardless of your, there's things you can do with Tai Chi that benefit. You could literally sit in your chair at your desk. Or
in the car.
Or on the commode, God forbid.
Absolutely. On the commode in the airplane. You actually can do it anywhere.
And that's the beauty of it, and you're going to get benefit. And that's what these classes are about. So we want to invite as many people, especially folks that are having mobility or health issues that, maybe are going down different paths and not seeing results they're hoping for. And, now, I will always say this. Always talk to your doctors, your primary. Those are the people that are in charge. You have your medical conversations with. So whatever they're telling you to do.
Right.
However, let's see if we can add this to the repertoire and see if maybe we can get your doctor to back you off on some of these other things and see what kind of results happen.
Right. Well, we certainly do have some local physicians that are referring people to the classes and chiropractors and physical therapists. So, it's good.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Phil, is one of your students?
Yes, he is.
Can we? What, Phil? So let me ask you, what brought you to Mahdi?
Well, I was heading out to Tucson.
Okay.
And you came on the radio, the two of you.
Ah, it was both of us.
And this is in
I never knew that.
This is in November.
Oh, really?
And I ain't got nothing to write down. And then the next year, somewhere early in the year, I heard you again.
Okay.
And
wow.
I got to the parking lot, and I'm sitting there waiting. I said, "You're going to give me the number, I know." And I got the number.
That's called we're trying to drag it out to keep you listening. That's just kidding. That's a tease.
Well,
that's awesome.
Isn't it? Yeah.
I love when people tell me radio works sometimes.
Oh, it does,
That's
though.
the moment.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. Well, good deal.
It was radio.
Yeah, it was. Well, glad. And so let me ask, what's going on in your world that you said maybe I need to talk to Mahdi? You don't get personal going or whatever, but just
when you get to a certain age, you'll get there one of these days.
I'm getting there now, man.
And
I'm
you'll
telling you, there's
find
things
out
that
things don't move as well.
Yeah, I'm learning that one.
And I hadn't fallen down or anything, but I've tripped.
Sure.
Almost fall down, and they says it's arthritis. No, I ain't worried about that.
Sure.
Balance. And I found that I've been going for about a year now, and I've picked up some good habits.
Gotcha. And you're starting to see more fluidity in your movements and
I'm more stable.
It almost sounds like you were feeling like you were losing a little bit of control of your body. You know what I mean? Like the things you relied on aren't reliable anymore, and this was restoring that.
The moves you used to make will get you in trouble after a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Our brain don't know that, though.
Yeah.
Like, I can still play football. What are you talking about, man? I get it.
Well, a lot of times when people trip or things happen in our lives, it's not because we're not strong.
Sure.
The body's not that broken down,
Sure.
but it's paying attention.
Sure.
So part of what it's called the meditative martial art, because it just aside from the physical strength and balance that you build, but it helps that brain connection because
Sure.
we're moving slowly.
Sure. And that's kind of, where I think Tai Chi addresses when we talk about people getting in shape.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you got to eat right, you got to exercise, and these are all true statements. None of this is false. However, I think the biggest hurdle sometimes in doing that is not here or here.
Right.
It's here.
Yeah, that is true.
It's your brain. And
it's
for those not watching the video, I put my arm, my knee, and my head.
Yeah.
I think we out-talk ourselves or out-think or I also attribute this to a lot of the things you hear in life where, say, a husband or a wife dies, and then within the year, it just seems, regardless of health, the spouse goes with it. Or, I feel like this is all in the territory we're talking about here, that connection. And I think Tai Chi kind of taps into that.
Right.
Bit,
I think
that
it
makes
fills
sense.
a lot of needs, and it is also very good for brain injuries. That's
Sure.
one of the things the VA was involved, recommending for was brain trauma, and but we're having to deal with right-left patterns that we have and habits that we have, and breaking new pathways in the brain, literally, of getting us a little clearer minded,
Sure.
even maybe.
Well, and the reason, and I think I've talked to you about this in the past, but a couple years ago, my wife had a brain issue.
Right.
And I think her recovery process is what I learned a lot about. Yeah. And because, at the end of the day, it was a bleed, and, they fixed up. And my wife's completely 100% fine, which, thank God we're all. But, at the time, and so you look at it, and so basically at the end of the day, they're fixing a wound in her head.
Right.
But the path to recover from that, like just to give, when my wife was released from the hospital, she had to sign her name to be, discharged.
Right.
And she had to take a full, 15, 20 seconds to remember how to sign her name.
Yeah.
Like her brain, it got to a point where her her brain almost had to retrain her to do things.
Right.
But here's the part that kind of messed with my head a little bit is the day or two after she got home, my wife was complaining of extreme nerve pain from her arms, her legs, like all over her body. And for life, man, and they knew this was coming, but it's something that's part of that healing process that as it's, kind of relearning how to do stuff, it was going through some changes and it was making it discomfort. And so just seeing that from that just kind of almost strengthens what you talk about through Tai Chi and how everything's connected and just, like dental work, 30 years ago, ain't no one talking about your heart or any of your health if you're going to get a cavity filled or getting some.
Right.
Nowadays, they're recommending you're doing heart checkups and things before you do because we can now see.
Yes.
We're learning so much about the human body and there's so much we don't know yet,
Right.
Despite what we do know, there's so much we don't know.
Yeah.
And I feel like Tai Chi taps into a lot of areas that we still don't know yet. You know what I mean? The areas, that parts, they always say things about using 10% of your brain and 90% all this. I don't know all those numbers, but I think Tai Chi taps into these places that we just don't know the science on.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? And I think as we learn more, we're going to say Tai Chi is going to be, more, it's going to transform because it's an art, martial art at the end of the day. I think it's going to transfer from a martial art label to a treatment label, if that makes sense. Like if you're a stroke patient or a rehab label.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes you can get prescriptions written, depends on your insurance, but
Gotcha.
you can get Tai Chi paid
Sure.
through some insurance companies as
Sure.
a rehabilitative therapy.
Sure. And so
Yeah.
this is what I'm talking about. And so I'm saying, go to the Salvation Army and go to a class.
Come
Check it out.
class. Give me a call.
What do you got to lose? Because at the end of the day, I think, especially for folks that have hit the wall with 27 other options and are not
Right.
finding success.
Right.
What do you have to lose?
Yeah.
Not a dang thing.
Yeah.
So sign up for these classes. And the good news is, you got your ones going on here for January for media, but I think your beginners classes will be starting up here shortly thereafter,
Well,
right?
I've been running the beginning for probably 6 months
Okay.
now because I would do.
Because you
off
started
and on.
a formal class here in December for the beginners, right? Or was that intermediate?
No, intermediate's been running
Okay.
for a while.
I get a little confused on the different levels
well,
here,
I would
but-
have a class, and then those people would graduate and move on into the other classes. So, but yeah, I did have a new one starting up, and those folks are going to be probably moving into the other class pretty
Okay.
soon. So there you go. There's a
So
space
you've
for
been
you.
you've been in Phil now for about a year now. What kind of where are you at in your progress? Like, are you still beginning? Or are you more?
Well,
are you
I'm-
teaching classes now, or what's
No,
going?
I told him, there's certifications. We could use another teacher in town.
I don't need to teach classes, but I've been there almost a year, I guess.
Awesome.
I'll go to the intermediate. and,
Sure. Like just
but-
personally for you, like your health today versus a year ago. How would you compare it?
Well, like I say, I feel more stable.
Gotcha.
And that when your age starts with an 8, that's important.
Well, and here's the other thing. It brings confidence. Where the one thing begets the rest of the things. Where because now you're stable, you're confident, and guess what? You're independent. You get to do what you want, live how you want.
Always did that.
But you get to keep doing it longer. You know what I mean? And that's because unfortunately, it's life. We're all going to hit that point where you got to hang up your saddle. That's just that's life. But you ain't got to do it today. That's all I'm saying.
So there's two things I want to mention.
Yeah.
One is the social aspect.
Uh-huh.
And we're a friendly bunch. And there's no judgment. We all are at different places, and we all have different things we're dealing
Absolutely.
with. So sometimes it fills a slot, especially with COVID and how we used
Absolutely.
to stay home,
And I'm going to take a stab at you love to welcome new folks because I'm going to take a guess that many of your students, like Phil and some of the folks have been doing it for a while, they're going to become converts. And what I mean by that is when a person that walks into the studio that were them a year ago, they can't wait to, you know what I mean? Because when you have stuff that are really game-changing life moments.
Right.
You kind of want to share that with the world or experience. And so I got a feeling, you get those moments, like you said, it's a social thing. And so when that person that's literally in the same shoes you were a year ago walks in, you're like, come on in, we got you. This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
A year from now, you're going to be one of us doing the same as the new person walks in. You know what I mean?
Well, we become a little bit of a family, too. So if somebody doesn't show up, I ask everybody to let me know if they can't come to class, but it's like, where are they? And people are wondering if they're okay. So,
and you know what? And the lives and the things that have been going on in this community for the last 6 months or so, a network, I imagine that was a life changer for some of those folks in your class. When there's floodings, when these things happen, and we're trying to connect with people and check in, especially because I'm going to take a stab that some of your students are probably live alone, maybe don't have a lot of family nearby in some of these cases, and not a lot of people to check in on them from time to time. So that is an ancillary positive from this, where it's like, you got Tai Chi and all that, but you just accidentally created a whole kind of second family for yourself.
Sure.
That's always the positive.
It gets me out of the house 2 days a week.
Sure, exactly. You go. And then plus it makes us behave ourselves.
Yeah.
Because I got a feeling, Phil.
I don't know.
I got a feeling, Phil, you're like me. You get time on your hands and you start thinking, and next thing you know, you might, say something that, isn't acceptable in groups anymore. I do that from time to time. Yeah. And so it reminds us that to stay connected with people and not get, too jaded on things or just too, because the older you get, it's easier to get cemented in your opinions and things.
I am completely unsupervised.
Somebody's nervous right now. I know it. But at the end of the day, that's what the beauty of this is. I would argue that these classes have kind of making you healthier, but also kind of rekindling just life in general. Just just feeling good about things and having a better outlook on things, despite what world hands you. You kind of look around and say, it'd be all right. We'll figure it out. You know what I mean? And that's where Tai Chi can help so greatly. Even, forget all the, the health, the actual physical health you see from it. Right. I think just having an outlook, and it's a hard world to live in. I ain't gonna, it's just volatile. Everything we live in, everyone's going to question everything you do. And that really penetrates. And so whatever tools you can put in your belt to strengthen your mind, to strengthen your soul, your body. I think Tai Chi for Health is a very good tool to help you do that.
Well, and we leave the world at the door. And when we come in, we start paying attention, being friendly, saying hi to everybody, notice our breathing and do our Tai Chi and focus on our body, mind, spirit health and laugh.
And that's,
we
I think,
do a lot of laughing, don't we?
Yeah. But I think
really
that's where the mental health comes in, because some people need to be trained to turn it off.
Right.
And that's not easy to do. So in Tai Chi really teaches you how to, that ability to say, no, turn that off,
And there are a few small things that you can actually learn, take home, and do that at home. So the tools that you learn there, you can do it anytime.
Sure. And by the way, that when you're having trouble sleeping because you can't turn it off, now you can turn it off. And and I don't care what anybody says. If you get a good, because that's your body's restore time. Right. And the better sleep you get, the better your body restores and re-heals. And so Tai Chi can help there too. Right. If you're having sleep issues, there's literally, that's what I'm saying. There's so many things you didn't think about that Tai Chi could actually resolve in your life that you maybe weren't anticipating it or thinking that's going to do. Right. And next thing you know, you're like, oh, I'm sleeping better. Just things like that. Those little things. Just by doing that. Yeah. That's why I'm saying sign up for the classes. So if you're day one, just hearing this today, like Phil was a year ago, what's the best way to get involved right now with the sign up, with classes and things?
Well, call me.
Okay.
You can go ahead and call me first. We'll start with that because some people don't like
Start with a conversation.
Yeah. So my phone number is 575.
Writing this down, Phil. This is the part you're waiting for.
He's got this now. 575-626-7150.
Very good.
That's my phone number.
Very
and
good.
I'll call you back if I can't pick up. You can do a few other things. You can email me.
Sure.
And my email address is health, HEALTH, 1,
okay.
ST which is first.
Okay.
Right, but it's the number 1 ST.
Gotcha. So health first, but 1 ST.
Yes, 1 ST at yahoo.com.
Very good.
And if
That's
you
way
are,
easier than trying to spell her name, by the way.
yeah. Marie Celine is my full name, but I get Marty.
So I get Marty.
You can also go to the Tai Chi for Health Institute website and see the programs.
And
see the other programs. Look at me, I'm on there too.
That's that's the big umbrella. That's the under where you study, where you kind of where your mentors, where everything that you've learned.
Right.
You got it through the institute
Tai Chi
here.
for Health Institute, right?
And so, if you want to go to the website, because it's an international thing,
it is.
So if you're looking to learn about the classes here in Roswell, call Marty directly. But if you want to learn more about what we're talking about on the big scope of Tai Chi and what it's benefiting and the results, the evidence we're seeing, and some of the some of the accreditations and things that Marty's talking about here, that's where you go to learn, read more about it, and kind of do your own deep dive on it. The Tai Chi for Health Institute website there will have all of it. If you're a research person, that's your best resource.
And so that website is Tai Chi for Health Institute.org.
Yeah.
And you can find my contact information on there because I'm accredited.
And if you do like your Facebook search for Tai Chi for Health, you'll see the national stuff there. And you can read more about it.
Yeah.
I would throw in some Roswell on there if you want to get into some Amati stuff there, or basically Salvation Army. If you kind of type that in, because it's all happening at the Salvation Army here in town. That'll kind of connect you. You can plug in. You can see some of the flyers from the actual classes and things that we're talking about here locally.
Yeah.
But I know you've got classes ongoing right now for intermediates. They're continuing on into January here.
Right.
But then the next batch of the classes will pick up here in February.
Right.
Now this is these classes, these are for more for beginning, right? Or is this it's beginning and intermediate?
So they run there are 3 here. There are 4 classes a week. On Mondays, we have a beginner's class, then we have the intermediate class, and then we have the Tai Chi 2, which is more advanced class.
Okay.
Wednesday, we have a basic Tai Chi class.
Okay.
Everybody's welcome in that also.
Sure.
But
and I imagine you'd even get some of your more advanced coming for refreshers
we all
or
come into the Wednesday
fine
class.
tuning.
Twice a week is if you want to learn it and you want to really benefit, you need to come more often if you can.
Sure.
I had a beginner start a few months ago, but she had to work her schedule around. Now she's in both beginning and the Wednesday class.
Well,
and I also teach in Ruidoso. So let me give you that information.
Well, and that'd be handy too. Like maybe, I don't know, in the summer months, maybe you like to go visit.
Take a drive,
but you don't want to miss an opportunity. Maybe the planets will align and you can catch a class in Ruidoso.
Yes, or vice versa.
Or vice versa.
I offer Roswell classes to Ruidoso people, but they don't usually take up that offer. But sometimes the Roswell people will go up to Ruidoso.
Well, let's face it.
They're not interested
More
in leaving
people are interested
Roswell.
in coming to visit
they go to doctors
Roswell.
here, but
We may have aliens here, but as far as hanging out, Ruidoso's a little prettier.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. But I have, at this point, just Friday afternoon classes at 2 o'clock in Ruidoso. And again, call me and I'll give you the address.
Excellent.
And then we have a short 30-minute class also in Ruidoso on Fridays.
Excellent.
So Ruidoso classes are Fridays at this point, and I'm going to add a Monday class there too.
And that's another facet I'd like to point out too is time is not an issue with Tai Chi. If you got 5 minutes, you can knock out some Tai Chi.
Right.
If you got an hour to dedicate it, you can knock out a lot of Tai Chi.
Right.
But what it works with your schedule. Whether you're a person on the go that's in hotels every night, on the road every night, or someone that's a homebody. Or something in between where most of us live. That's the beauty of what the classes. And so when you take these classes and come, you'll learn these things. And like you said, you got to practice. You got to, it's an art. Anytime you want to get good at something, you got to keep doing it to get better at it.
Right.
And so when you go home and do these things on your own, you'll find out that, and then you build it into your schedule. And that's what hopefully I think you're looking for at the end of the day is you find those ways, whether you got a busy schedule. It's like, okay, I'm sitting at a traffic light. I got 20 minutes in traffic here. Guess what? I can work on this a little bit. You know what I mean?
That sounds like L.A. That doesn't sound like Roswell.
Yeah, other part, maybe not so much in Roswell you're doing that, but there are some places where you're sitting a while, and that's. Yeah. But that's my point is you'll find out that it adapts to your life schedule, or you'll be able to incorporate it easily, whether you want to, just do a little bit or a lot. You'll find a way to do that, and so. sign up for these classes. Start here. If you've never picked up any kind of class or done anything with Tai Chi, you're just like if you're walking in saying, their noodles are delicious. What? maybe, if you're
Tai
that,
Chi. There's another one too.
Right.
Tai. Yeah.
If you're in that state, then maybe come out to the Salvation Army here in February for one of these first classes. Come out on a Wednesday, and let's see what we can do to get.
And they are in
started.
the afternoon. They're Monday. The beginning Monday is 2:30. And the intermediate, which you wouldn't go into right away if you've not done Tai Chi before.
No, we
that's
would not
after
recommend that. Yeah.
But so beginning is Mondays at 2:30, and then Wednesdays is basic at 3:30, and both of those are very open to any beginners. And then the Friday class up in Ruidoso is 2:00, and that's also a beginning class, kind of running similarly.
Yeah. And the beauty of it is it's even though it's beginning classes, it's like it doesn't matter where your level is. Doesn't matter your health. I don't care. You can walk in there looking like an Adonis, and you're on the same level as a person that's in a wheelchair.
One of the classes up there, one of the students brought his nephew in who is visiting, and he's about a 35, I would say, year-old fella, real big, strapping guy, and he was very interested in he'd never done it before. And he said, can I do what you're doing? Because the first part of that class starts seated, because that's where we can really access our core and feel that more than standing if you're a beginner. So we graduate seated. Both classes have seated and standing. And he wanted to start standing. I says, no, you got to start seated. And he was like, oh, this is but
you got to learn to crawl before you walk, right?
He was a nice guy, though. But by the end of the class, he heard it. And then we moved, and he was like, wow. This is very cool. This is really relaxing. I see why you wanted me to sit first.
I imagine sometimes you have to do the battle with the athlete types, folks that are in good shape and athletic.
Yeah.
But their idea of in shape is different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pain is gain. That whole mindset. And I'm like, if you're trying to be a weightlifter in the Olympics, maybe that is the mantra. But most of us aren't trying to do that. And so, but I imagine it's fun for you to have those moments where you get an athletic type, and despite the fact that it doesn't look like they're strenuous.
Yeah, it's not easy.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like back in the day. I remember, you'd see like football players taking ballet classes, and they'd make fun of them because and then it's like, take that class and see if you're laughing at the end of that class. And then they realize there's a huge benefit to it. And now they're all flexible, straight. You know what I mean? And I think Tai Chi's like that, where you get people that are just athletic types, and you come in there and rock the world, and they ain't even stood up yet. You know?
Right. It's true.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I want to ask another question too here before we wrap up, because I feel like this could also be a benefit. Is, do you have students that are doing this for not, but like any of your students that are dealing or have dealt with like substance abuse or those kind? Because I kind of feel like Tai Chi would benefit people that are, that have dealt with substance abuse. Maybe you're an addict or recovering addict, and I feel like Tai Chi is a valuable tool for folks like that, or could potentially be. I'm just wondering if you deal with any work like that or come across some of that as you're doing your Tai Chi.
That's part of my spectrum.
That's what I say. I don't think
that may be in the background of people, but that's not where
that's
I go
where I'm
for questions.
feeling like.
However,
I feel like that would be
the reason this is my thinking.
Yeah.
The reason the VA started studying Tai Chi and doing Tai Chi with their people, and then now actually adopted this particular program. When you come out of a wartime situation, there's a lot of addiction involved. And
PTSD is treated with a lot of things it shouldn't be treated with.
Yes, well,
and that's just human nature. Yeah,
that's not for me to say, but
well, I mean that's human nature.
I get you.
It's usually self-medicated. It's not prescribed per se.
Right. Well, maybe though, maybe not.
Absolutely.
But we are confronted. We're confronted with ourselves.
Sure.
And it becomes quite peaceful. Doing the work becomes peaceful. So it starts changing your neurology.
And that's why I'm thinking, I feel like if you're maybe, okay, like I said, we can't get a doctor and say, no, 10 doctors say you should do this, but I'm feeling like if you're on that road to recovery, I feel like Tai Chi might be one of those tools you could use to get you through the rough parts. When you have the moments in life that you're struggling with that you would turn to the bottle or whatever your vice was.
Right.
Maybe Tai Chi's the thing you turn to. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like that could be a tool, regardless of what doctors and scientists say. I'm just a guy putting 2 and 2 together and saying, based on what it's doing for a lot of people, I feel like this might be a tool in the bag that could help.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, so whatever your reason is to walk through the door, don't matter. Walk through the door, check it out, and if you give it your all and try it out, I guarantee you're gonna feel better about yourself 1 year later if you you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think you're the proof in the pudding, you know. And every Phil, you're not the first. We've had a few other folks come on with us. And sorry, Phil.
I'm sure he meant that well.
I meant that kindly. But each time they come in, and some were worse off than you were, where they were coming in and they were, I remember a gentleman, he couldn't even walk at some point. And that man come in here walking under his own power. And a year ago, he was in a wheelchair or hobbit. And so you see those results firsthand time and time again. So,
well, I know for me and my own health, I've had injuries and I'm pretty active.
Sure.
But when I miss some classes because of the snow or whatever up in Ruidoso, I feel a difference in my health. I feel a difference in my strength and my normally peaceful nature.
You got off your routine.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get off your routine, and that's what it does here. But again, Madi, one more time, give out your phone number for anyone that would like more information or call or say, hey, I'm interested in signing up for these new classes. Where do I go and when do I do it? So.
Right. 575-626-7150.
Very good.
And you can call, leave a message. You can text if you wish. I'll call you back. Whatever works for you, or email me.
And of course, she's as much in Ruidoso doing stuff as she is here in Roswell. So, folks, if there's sometimes there's a few. Sometimes the antenna signal floats. It gets cut off in the mountains, but you can pick us back up there. Yeah. Some of those folks listening, don't forget, Monty might be there in your town too here. So don't and if you have questions, don't reach out because I know if you're looking for an opportunity to really make a difference, Monty can help you out with this stuff. It's all, and I don't care what level you are, you know what? If someone told you just got diagnosed with cancer and you got 6 months to live, sign up for this class. I bet we can find some ways to, who knows, maybe 6 months turns into a year. I don't know. Right. But I'm just saying, what do you got to lose?
Right.
We can do stuff with your body to make it do, and I'm just saying, I know this sounds like, I feel like Tai Chi is because we don't know the stuff. It's just like human history. When we don't know it, we turn it into gods or voodoo or witch doctors. That's just, human nature. And so I feel like, some of the results you're going to do, you're going to look at it in that vein it's tapping into things that I don't think we understand yet. And I think that's why I feel like give it a shot, because to be honest, I think there's a lot of issues and things that we just don't have an issue for. And I think this is the path we got to go to find those answers. So let's start going down that path and see what happens.
Yeah, sure. Give me a call. We'll see how it goes.
Very good. Yep. Well, thank you. Thank you, Phil, for coming in. Appreciate it. Thanks for listening. One of my 2 fans right there.
Yeah, how about that?
There you go. And thank you for your service. And based on your hat, I'm going to feel and you've served. So thank you for your service here. Appreciate what you do. So good. And thank you, Madi.
Thanks.
We'll see you here next time. Here, maybe next month or whenever we can get you in to kind of remind folks as the weather gets warmer and people feel like going and doing things, maybe they'll be more motivated to give it a try.
Right.
I ain't
when it's
a
little warmer. And
when it's 2 degrees out, people I ain't moving nowhere.
Right.
Unless it's to put my cocoa or coffee from here to here, or move the blanket from here to here. But thank you guys. Appreciate it.
All right.
All right, it is 9:53. Let's pause for news and handy the update. Quick break before we go.
New Mexico is among 19 other states who have now joined in a lawsuit against the new Trump administration over the new president's vow to end birthright citizenship. The lawsuit was filed yesterday in Massachusetts, claiming the effort directly violates the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. In a prepared statement, New Mexico Attorney General Raul Torres said the order is a direct attack on the fundamental rights that the 14th Amendment guarantees every child born on American soil. Chavez County deputies had to help with a mobile home haul that got stuck on the railroad tracks. This happened near Highway 256 and Lupton Road Monday night. Deputies discovered that the large, single-wide trailer home became high-centered on the tracks. Deputies were able to reach BNSF dispatch, and trains in the area were stopped in order to prevent a collision on the tracks. With your local news update, I'm Jared Sorello.
Software prices are out of control. Microsoft Office, $70 a year. Photoshop, $240. Final Cut, $300 up front. Here's a secret. You don't have to pay for any of it. I'm Kim Commando. Stop robo and spam calls, junk email and texts, online stalking, doxing, scams with Incogni. Incogni works. Get 60% off today at privacykim.com. Now back to saving you cash. Your local library isn't just about books anymore. With a free library card, you might score access to Microsoft Office, Photoshop, and other pricey tools. Check your local library's website or just talk to a librarian. No library? Not a problem. Skip Microsoft Office and use LibreOffice or Google Workspace. Both are free and just as reliable. Need Photoshop? GIMP does the job for $0. Editing videos? DaVinci Resolve gives you professional tools for free. Fun fact, it's used in Hollywood. Why spend a fortune when these free options work just as well? Join over 600,000 folks who get my free newsletter. Sign up right now at getkim.com. Think about every time you look up anything online, even your embarrassing and private searches, fill out a form or shop, data brokers are watching. They collect and sell your information to anyone willing to pay. Your name, address, phone number, social security number, and even your social media activity. It's all out there, often without your knowledge or consent. And data brokers know everything. They use personal details to track and target you in ways you may not even realize. But there is a way to fight back. Incogni. It's a powerful tool that removes your data from these brokers, making it much harder for anyone to get their hands on your personal info. Incogni automatically handles the tedious process of sending removal requests to data broker sites, so you don't have to. It also cuts down on the annoying spam calls, texts, and emails. Incogni helps you take control of your personal data and reclaim your privacy. Visit privacykim.com for my deal with Incogni. Go to privacykim.com now for 60% off. privacykim.com.
Running a business is tough. Operational demands change fast, and keeping up can feel impossible. That's where DSI comes in. We've been helping local businesses thrive for over 25 years. You might know us for printer products, but we're your one-stop shop for cutting-edge office technology, from managed IT to video security, audio-visual technology, and more. DSI has everything you need. We're flexible, local, and have the resources of a national corporation. Be more productive. Make more money. DSI, the heartbeat of business. Visit DSINM.com.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Big road doubleheader victory for the Roswell boys and girls basketball teams last night playing at Artesia. It was Roswell winning the girls game to start things off 57-38. The Lady Coyotes are now 13-6 on the season. In last night's game, Ada Vasquez, 16 points, Elena Tarrin with 15, and a lot of three-point shooters for Roswell as they opened up a big early lead and then cruised to victory. It wasn't as easy for the Roswell guys, but the Coyotes are 16-4 now after beating Artesia by a deuce, 59-57. Jerry Sombrano with 17 points, Ryland Saraceno with 13. Also last night in girls action, it was Goddard playing against Clovis and falling to the Wildcats 64-42. The Goddard girls are now 11-8 on the season. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
Over the next several weeks, we want to give you 5 key elements to a great marriage. This is taken from an article by Drs. Les and Leslie Perot. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage. The first one is ownership, taking responsibility for the good as well as the bad.
1 Corinthians 11:31 says, "Judge yourself so you won't be judged." It's talking about the judgment of God, but it also applies to our relationships, especially the ones that are closest to us, like marriage. If you'll just take responsibility for your own actions, it's so much easier for our spouses not to have to point out and criticize us.
So we have to take responsibility for our actions and our reactions, our attitudes and our mistakes. You know, most people would learn from their mistakes if they weren't so busy denying them.
You aren't responsible for what your spouse does. You are responsible for doing your part. So just decide today to do your part and take ownership.
How do you find a roofing contractor you can trust? You can randomly pick one, cross your fingers and hope for the best. Or maybe you can ask a psychic to predict who's trustworthy. Here's a better idea. Choose one who prefers using America's most trusted roofing brand, Owens Corning. And rest easy, because Owens Corning screens their contractors for reliability, professionalism, and customer service. Why take any chances? Owens Corning, trusted contractors, proven products. For an Owens Corning preferred contractor, visit owenscorning.com/roofing.
For a free estimate, give Do Right Roofing a call today. 575-623-2273.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
Hi, everyone. This is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture. Valentine's Day has been a time-honored tradition of expressing love and affection for the wonderful people in our lives. Why not honor them with the comfort and new smells of furniture from Glenn's? Leather, wood, and luxurious fabrics are beautiful reminders of how much they are loved for many years to come. Skip the roses and chocolates this year and give gifts that last. Come see us at Glenn's for Valentine's Day on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico for 2023? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
So your pecans aren't as big and bountiful as they used to be? Well, what would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. Few people knew as much about pecans as Jim Gill. And if he were here today, he'd tell you it was time to fertilize. He'd tell you just what you need and show you how to use it. Then he'd make some joke about your neighbors making fun of your nuts.
So when there's trouble with your pecans, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
The great one, Mark Levin, is now in Roswell on 106.5 KEND Roswell.
And good morning. It is closing in on 8 o'clock. Town Hall News up next, and we'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters. Good morning.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. 22 state attorneys general joining the ACLU in challenging President Trump's bid to end birthright citizenship. They argue Mr. Trump's executive order is unconstitutional. The White House says, we'll see you in court. Cuba back on the list of U.S. list of state sponsors of terrorism. Just last week, then President Biden removed the communist island from that list. Now the Trump administration has put it back. One of President Trump's executive orders shuts down federal DEI offices, putting employees of those offices on paid leave before they are eventually let go. From Texas to the Florida Panhandle, north to the Carolinas, record-breaking winter storm, snarling travel on the roads and in the air. It's dumping a lot of snow and spreading ice across a vast area. New Orleans resident Amy Welch trying to make the best of it.
I just had to get out and experience it because we don't ever get snows like this, hardly ever, and it was just so beautiful. And we've been sitting inside drinking coffee and eating and wanted to come outside and just experience it. And the dogs wanted to get out here and play in it. It makes you feel like a kid again.
Tinder dry Southern California could get some rain at week's end, dampening the prospects of another round of killer wildfires, but raising fears of the potential for deadly landslides.
Rain is forecast this weekend. Meanwhile, the Eaton fire is 87% contained and the Palisades 59%, according to CAL FIRE. Evacuation orders remain in effect, and officials warn that other residents need to be ready to go if new fires start.
Correspondent Julie Walker says the death toll from the Palisades and Eaton fires has now risen to at least 28. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 113 points, the Nasdaq trading 256 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Micheál Martin is returning as Ireland's Prime Minister for a second time, as the BBC's Chris Page explains.
Ireland bucked the global trend of elections last year by returning the outgoing government to power. Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael have renewed their coalition for another 5 years. Micheál Martin will be elected as Prime Minister, known as the Taoiseach, in the Parliament in Dublin. The governing parties have agreed that Mr Harris will become Taoiseach again in 2027. They've said they'll prepare Ireland for what they describe as new headwinds facing the country's open economic model. It's thought this refers to potential US trade policies.
Australian detectives investigating whether foreign interests are paying criminals to commit anti-Semitic acts in the country. Australia's Federal Police Commissioner meeting today with state police chiefs discussing an increase in anti-Semitic crime in Australia since the war between Israel and Hamas broke out in 2023. News and analysis at townhall.com. A Senate bill with support on both sides of the aisle would pressure the Department of Education to safeguard students from anti-Semitism and other forms of discrimination at school.
Republican Senator Bill Cassidy and Democrat John Fetterman have reintroduced the Protecting Students on Campus Act. First put forth shortly after the Hamas attack on Israel in 2023, it was crafted in response to the anti-Semitic demonstrations that cropped up on U.S. college campuses. Senator Cassidy says the bill holds universities accountable to address discrimination and maintain a safe learning environment for all students. Bob Agner reporting.
The Minnesota Supreme Court will hear arguments this week on whether it should wade into a partisan power struggle that has roiled the state house for more than a week. Democratic lawmakers are boycotting the state capitol. They're trying to prevent their Republican colleagues from taking advantage of a temporary one-seat GOP majority. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The tabloid said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2 of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Wednesday.
Ah, yes.
The middle of the week.
Wetness day.
A little warmer today. I don't feel it at the moment. It's 22 now.
Oh, it's finger numbing out there.
But we're going to hit mid-50s by some point today. So.
Peak 50s. I'll take it.
And then we got like a chili dipper tomorrow back to like 39.
Ooh.
And then back up.
That's sounds.
Into the
I know that you don't want to think about food, but a chili dipper sounds delicious right now.
Well, I just had a moment right when
I know, and I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't push it.
But yeah, but then we get that, but then we're back up in the 50s, like for Friday and the weekend-ish.
Mhm.
But yeah, I was. I just had like right there we're talking. I was like, whoa. Sorry, I got a little stomach bug.
Yeah, Mike's got a bit of the bubble guts.
And yeah, it's been a rough 24 hours.
Mhm.
Here, but I'm going home after the show.
Yep.
I'm done now.
Tapping out.
I'm tapping out. I'm gonna get through 10 o'clock, and then sayonara.
I'm sorry. I think we're in a good place as far as the rest of the day
I have
goes.
pastors coming at 1 today.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
We'll get it taken care of.
So just a second.
We will get it taken
As soon as you said
care
we
of.
got, I was like, oh, pastors. Sorry, I'm a little goofy. What was I gonna say?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
It's
Sorry.
just gone.
I'm not 100%. I apologize.
I got to tell you, and I've mentioned this to Mike off air, but I finished up it's a series of 5-hour-long documentaries, and it's based on the SNL's 50th anniversary, which is this year.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's the first 3 episodes essentially break down the way a show works. And I feel like somebody who's into the behind the scenes process of things,
I'd like this. Absolutely.
It's amazing because it starts out with, the history of the show and kind of goes into that whole thing. Then you see the breakdown of an episode from the writer's room to the pitch meeting and all of it. And then by the 4th episode, they veer off into a different direction entirely. And I love that. It's like, all right, we've told the story of SNL.
Do they talk about? Because the impression I always get, like every behind the scenes thing I've seen about Saturday Night Live over my lifetime,
right,
is they always and of course when they ever do like shows like Studio 60, which was kind of a homage or what you would say to an SNL type thing. They always give the impression like it's very cutthroat to get your bits in and all that. Do they talk about that kind of stuff?
One of the things that I found kind of fascinating was there's a first at the very start of the week on Monday.
Yeah.
Based on how the last show did is kind of the mood of the office.
Yeah.
So the first day back, the Monday, the guest host will come in, and they all kind of get together in Lorne Michaels' office. And you meet the guest, and everybody introduces themselves, and then it's just a series of maybe you're this, and that's how they launch every single one of it. Is maybe you are, and then they pitch something that the guest host could do, like a character or something. But one of the things that they say in one of the talking head interviews is, if you have an idea, like an actual idea for a bit or for something you want to do, you would never pitch it in this room.
Gotcha.
Because not only would maybe somebody take it and run with it, but it's just never done. They don't ever talk about bits they want to do in the room.
It's like is it kind of that no honor among thieves type mindset? Yeah.
But Lorne also says it's more of to put the guest host's mind at ease, to say, these people are going to work on stories for you, and they're gonna make this the easiest we put. So it's less about pitching ideas and more about making the guest feel at ease.
So using that logic, I'm going to take because let's face it, they all want to be Adam Sandler, they all want to be Chevy Chase, they all want to be that next whatever. And so I always heard stories of like certain people would like try to butter up the guests to get their bits, to make them like their bits more. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the guest hosts that actually had a lot of control in that stuff. Like there was always stories of certain players that would do that.
Certain guests definitely did, and definitely the ones like the returning guests.
Yeah.
They talk about
how I figure like Alec Baldwin walks in there and he kind of runs the show.
They talk about how they work with the writers, but it's really like, and this is the other thing that's kind of fascinating about it, is it's really the writer's baby. Like once they go to the Wednesday pitch meeting, which is the actual sit in the office, here's my sketch idea, then they it's scripted out and everything, and they hand it to Lorne. Lorne will do the blocking, like interior, and he reads in, and then they actually like act out the scene. And based on the reactions that the room gets, they'll work up a lineup. It's like they said it's like High School Musical or whatever. You run up to the room to the window to see if you made your bit made it. But at that point, the writers have to do everything. You go to the construction crew and you say, I need this set piece, I need this. You have to work up the camera angles and figure out exactly where, who's going to be blocked where, and it's all the writer. And that's why they say so many of these SNL writers go on to directorial jobs and actually working on that side of the camera.
Makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense.
But it's a really cool.
And that's on
dive.
Peacock.
It's on Peacock.
Yeah.
But
so for I guess of all the streaming services, that seems to be the one that least amount of people have. At least just kind of the one.
It's not really the most popular one for sure.
I think part of the problem with that is when you get too niche, like Peacock is pretty much NBC stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're a fan of all things NBC, why would you want like if people are like, hey, look, I got X amount of dollars to spend on streaming services.
Mm-hmm.
I want to broaden it so they're like, I'll get my Paramount Plus or my Max or my Netflix or whatever. Peacock's like, look, I can't afford $10 a month or whatever it is just so I can watch
and see
2 shows that I really like on that
but
thing.
I feel like to me, the one that's not as worth it,
right,
which I still have a subscription to and I really need to get rid of, is Paramount.
Right.
Because there's just not as much of the content that I like on Paramount.
But for me, it's so much broader.
Sure.
Like you can, yes, they've got their properties. Like if you're a Taylor Sheridan, you got to have it. I mean, you can't get by Paramount without, if you can't just not.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's Paramount. You've literally, they give you the volume of the Paramount movies and all the stuff. And they do offer programming that is exclusive. That is all, like South Park. Like there's certain, like if you're a South Park fan, there's certain South Park things you can only get through Paramount Plus.
Paramount, yeah.
And so they've kind of done a good job of, we're niche, but we're not niche.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're still, and because they partner with CBS, everything CBS has is also under Paramount Plus.
And
as
see,
well.
that's the thing. It's like it's their Peacock.
Yeah.
If you're that much of a fan of CBS, then sure. But if not, what's
the one
value?
that's. And this is that's kind of out there too, like that is Apple Plus.
That's the one I cannot I could never justify getting.
But here's where they get you. Apple Plus has the luxury of selling arguably the most popular vessel to view things via a tablet or a phone on the planet.
But you could do that via anything.
Absolutely. But here's the deal. When Apple Plus came out, if you bought an iPhone or an iPad or anything, they gave it to you for a year.
Oh, sure.
And in that year, they lure people in. And guess what? Now, Ted Lasso came out, and now they've locked it down. And now it's still very niche.
Here's the thing.
But at the same time, I don't get rid of it because they offer enough programming that it's worth $5 a month for me.
Now, if it's only like a $5 a month situation,
I think it's not as much as the other one.
It's just here. It feels to me, Apple TV's lineup feels like the Apple user, the average Apple user that I know, which an air of just better than you. You know what I'm saying? Like Apple TV Plus, it always feels like, oh, we've got the big stars. We're not going to waste our time on comedy on lowbrow comedies. We're more about pushing the boundaries. And sure, I know they have comedies and stuff.
And there's some lowbrow ones on there too.
Right.
Yeah, very lowbrow.
It always feels. That's how
there
I always
is an
felt
air.
like if you ever hang out with an iPhone user.
It's like. Do you read the newspaper? And then you're like, yeah, whatever. But then there's that person who says, no, I read the Wall Street Journal.
Mm-hmm.
It's that mindset. I get exactly what you're saying. But once you crack through that shell, you start, and that's what happened is they gave it to me.
Right.
I cracked the shell, and then I got in there and said, dang, this show's good. This Ted Lasso's not bad. I like this shrinking.
Now, and that's the thing. Bill Lawrence, I love the stuff that he writes. You know what? Here's the thing. If they announce that the Scrubs reboot that's already been talked about is going to be an Apple TV Plus exclusive, then
that might
I'm
really
going to turn over those dollars.
That might really in.
Yeah, it's going to get me.
And I think it's called something Monkey or Bad Monkey. I don't remember. There's a Vince Vaughn.
Oh yeah, Bad Monkey. I think it is.
Very good. I enjoyed it. It was. Speaking of which, real quick, I'm changing gears, but not. Because Bad Monkey triggered it. If I just finished watching if you like those kind of lawyer show crime drama, but are still not. I mean, dark, but still, they do a good job of getting you to like the characters and all that.
Yeah.
On Netflix, I recommend you check out The Lincoln Lawyer.
Okay.
The Lincoln Lawyer. Now, you all probably heard of this stuff. Originally, it's a books that came out, and then they made a movie based off the books with Matthew McConaughey.
Right.
Called The Lincoln Lawyer, and there's a movie out there that is based off the books. Well, The Lincoln Lawyer TV show that's on net, there's 3 seasons up now, is based off the books as well. However, I think the TV series is a better, because the movie they're.
Well, you have to rush through when you're making a movie.
Here's
you have
the
to
thing:
cram a bunch in.
is the movie they're like we need a name, so Matthew McConaughey draws in, but the character in the books was like not Matthew McConaughey.
Mhm.
The characters, like his father's an attorney that's he's white. His mother was a Mexican, and so he's half Mexican, half white, and so that plays into the story.
Mhm.
And none of that gets addressed in The Lincoln Lawyer, where the movie, whereas the TV show kind of brings it all in, and it's got 3 seasons on it. There's not really any big names that are on the show that I recognized.
Sure.
In. But it's just a good show, and I started watching it because I like the Lincoln Lawyer movie. I never read the books, but from what I'm understanding, the TV show is much more beholden to the books than the movie was.
So it stars Manuel Garcia Rulfo. Is that the kid from Cobra Kai?
No,
Okay.
This guy's older.
Okay. Well, anyways, Mickey Holler, a defense attorney in Los Angeles who often works out of a chauffeur-driven Lincoln. Is that why they call it the Lincoln Lawyer?
That's why he's called the Lincoln Lawyer. He works out of his Lincoln.
That's blatant product placement.
Well, that's the whole thing.
I know, but
I'm going to take a stab. That's why you see McConaughey doing Lincoln commercials all the time, but maybe not. I don't know.
One of my favorite SNL bits, I can't remember if it was Jim Carrey doing Matthew McConaughey. He's just sitting there in the car, and he's just doing this. He's like, I still haven't decided what I'm going to do with this booger yet. Am I going to flick it? I'm just going to toss it out.
But here's the thing: the 3 seasons are out, and I just finished watching. I'm caught up, and they leave you on a good cliffhanger on 3.
Yeah.
But good news is because I do what every other else does when they do that. I got online. When's season 4 coming out?
Yeah.
It is in production and all that, and I think it's supposed to come out either end of this year or beginning of next year.
So. Okay, so they're not going to leave you hanging.
No.
That's
so
a
it's
plus.
been renewed and everything else. It drew me in. The more I start watching it, the more I'm kind of like, you kind of root for characters, and you start, because that's what I like about it is as much, and I kind of dig those whodunit type shows where they do a good job of kind of stringing you along and playing it out, and he's kind of and the Lincoln Lawyer, his character he's a defense attorney, and like his dad was, and he's kind of living in his dad's shadow a little bit. That's kind of the whole, deeper story of the show,
right?
And it's just because he's a defense attorney, so he's already looked at as kind of a slime ball because defense attorney,
sure,
and matter of fact, his first wife, his second wife works for him. His first wife, he has a kid by. It's a whole thing, but that's the beauty of it. It's so not perfect, but they make it like this jive thing. I don't know. It's kind of cool.
I'm curious. Now that I have Netflix, I'm trying to find some new stuff to make it worth it.
I kind of got into the Lincoln Lawyer. I enjoyed that thing.
I got some good news for you. Speaking of Peacock and I get to the interview thing. They renewed season 2 for Ted.
Thank goodness, because I thoroughly enjoyed season 1 and 10.
Yes, very, very much.
To be honest, and I said it on this radio show, I said to you, I kind of dug the show better than the movies.
Yes and no.
I mean, I need the movies to enjoy the show,
right?
But at the same time, the humor and I kind of dug the show better. I was more invested.
You get more of it, I think, in the show. So I would agree with you on that.
Yeah. And I think that's just the nature of TV versus movie in general, because, movies got, an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe 3 hours to really
they got to introduce the universe.
And so you don't have as much time to care or get invested unless you do Fast and Furious 47 or whatever. But a TV show, you put one season, and really Ted does that because now because let's face it, you're not coming out of a Ted movie kind of like rooting for people or anything. You're just looking for laughs for an hour and a
it's
half.
just a show you can turn your brain off.
After watching the first season of Ted, you kind of get there. You're like, I kind of like, or the dad's a jerk, but I kind of dig him because he's misunderstood in some ways. You know what I mean? It's just stuff like that. You kind of get into it. But anyway, we're gonna play our interview with Keon and Sarah from Carabelli Dental. They joined us on Monday, talking all about they're up and running, doing everything, but they've had quite a hectic 6 months here with flooding and everything else. So we talk with them. So we're gonna play that here in just a bit. But first, your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're in good shape for the next 2 days. High pressure is overhead. Pretty comfortable daytime highs today in the mid-50s, and we'll get sunshine. Upper teens for the overnight low tonight and clear with a little cold front moving through. We'll get sunshine on Thursday, and we'll be hitting about 40 on the afternoon high, so we'll be cooling off a little bit. Then we bounce back to the mid-50s with sunshine Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. 22 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 60% with west winds at 6 miles per hour. 54 for a high today. That'll be a pleasant change compared to what we've been dealing with. Sunny skies with west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, partly cloudy. Looking at an overnight low of 18, so it's going to be chilly. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. For Thursday, we're looking at it's actually going to cool down. We're not going to enjoy the 50s tomorrow. Partly cloudy, early, gradually becoming sunny, but a high of only 39. Winds will be out of the north at around 5 miles per hour. Thursday night, skies will be clear, 16 for an overnight low, so it's still going to be chilly. South winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For Friday, we are looking at highs back into the 50s under sunny skies. Friday night, 54 are expected high there. Saturday, partly cloudy, 51. And then 49 for a high on Sunday under sunny skies. Moisture talk, Tuesday. There's a 20% chance as of right now of rain and or snow showers with a high of 49. So that's Tuesday. And you know how it works around here. By Friday, that could dissipate. We'll see. All right, 8:24. We're going to take a quick, it's 4-minute break. And then we'll be back on the other side with our interview with Dr. Keon and Dr. Sarah from Carabelli Dental. Don't go away.
Hey, Roswell, Happy New Year. Roswell Ford has a New Year's resolution you're going to love. We resolve to sell more new Fords in 2025, so we're going to make it super fun, super fast, and super easy, just for you. In fact, we'll give you the price we'd give to a friend or family member right up front. So bring us any trade in any condition. Don't even wash it, because at Roswell Ford, all trades are welcome. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? We can help. We'll take your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with more aggressive lenders, all with great rates and terms for good credit, no credit, and even bad credit, with rates as low as 0% APR. Plus, we have a great selection of low mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Huge savings, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance, plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
Did you know almost 75% of the time we're replacing a roof, something totally weird or unexpected or bizarre happens? Jennifer here again from Trustmark Roofing, and I want you to know that we are always prepared for the unexpected. That's why we always have project superintendent on site at your home at all times to handle those weird, bizarre things as they pop up. Things like an unexpected layer of wood shake shingles under your shingles, or rotted out decking boards, problems with flashing or ridges, or missing supplies that somebody needs to chase down. These are the kinds of problems that normally grind the crews from other roofing companies to a halt and delay the project. But not with our super awesome superintendent there. He's equipped to handle any problem and keep the project moving along smoothly. Just one more way we do things better at Trustmark Roofing. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
When managing a chronic illness, access to the right treatments makes all the difference. Artesia General Hospital's Infusion Center provides IV therapy, and biologic treatments, so you don't have to travel far for care. Expert infusion therapy right here in Artesia. Call 575-736-8256 today to learn more.
A snoring partner is more than a rough night's sleep for you. It could lead to some serious problems. Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher at Carabelli Dental. Snoring, stopping breathing, and gasping for air in the middle of the night aren't just a pain for you. It could be a sign of sleep apnea, which can result in a lot more problems for both of you. Luckily, we can help. With our revolutionary oral appliance, you and your partner can breathe easier and get a better night's sleep.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 575-622-4455.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans and options to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get true 500 megs of download and upload speeds. And with Fastest, you get 1 gig. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
You can't hunt camels in Arizona, but you can buy them. They go for about $10 a pack. Here's Mike Winters.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call Low Cost Airlines.
And good morning. It is 26 minutes after 7 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning, they let him escape the building for a little bit, from Carabelli Dental, Dr. Sarah Usher, Dr. Keon Agar as well. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Good morning.
Happy Martin Luther King Day, inaugural day, happy Monday.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
It's a lot going on. Happy go outside, become a popsicle.
Yeah, happy freeze your patoozies off.
Yeah.
I'm happy my pipes didn't bust this weekend.
know.
So
Yeah, that's that's something we can all give thanks for. But put them on tonight because
it's supposed to get really cold tonight.
9.
Oof.
9.
9.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Just breaking records all over.
If
the
you
place.
forgot over the weekend, don't forget tonight.
Right.
Good call.
But anyway, speaking of sort of broken pipes. Speaking of water,
Water and Carabelli Dental don't get along.
Yeah. You guys, for folks that don't know, the flooding really devastated the Carabelli Dental offices.
There for a little while.
And you guys spent 6 weeks which, to be honest, that's pretty quick.
Crazy.
Super quick.
I think when it initially happened, you were probably thinking a lot bigger time period, weren't you?
I think
we didn't really know what we didn't know at the time.
Right.
And so we just kind of hit the ground running and said, we're going to do this.
Sure.
And so we got some really good people on our side. I really want to say thank you to Gabby and his sons.
Gabby's the best.
Yes,
And his wife.
Gabby
and his wife for
Linda
loaning Gabby to us.
Yeah, he's our contractor throughout all of this, and him and his family are just phenomenal people. But anyways, people like him and the blessings we've had and the support
I saw a
that
lot
we
of
had
stuff on Facebook,
from the
social
community.
media.
I mean, there's no reason
where the public were just coming to help out. I thought that was cool, and that was
because of that support, we're able to be back in the building.
Well, and this is kind of what it's awesome that they do that, but this is why you guys do the stuff you do, like where you'll spend all weekend just working on people's teeth at various events and things.
Yes.
Free or no charge.
But that's not why you do it, right?
But I mean, you do that stuff, but you know what I mean. But
I think it just all comes full circle. Like we're here for each other, type of thing.
But I think because you do those things, people step up and say, "Hey, those guys are always helping out." That's the mindset that
True.
It's very much. And the thing I'm hoping, and I don't want to get into finances and stuff, but I know that you guys have invested a lot of money in that building. When COVID hit and the ventilation and all that stuff, like I'm hoping insurance is helping on some of, or at least you're getting some kind of. Because
No.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure replacing the equipment you had to replace and
We
whatever
did.
else, you just can't roll down and order that on Amazon real quick.
Let's
you know
just
what I
say
mean?
that dental insurance turns out is oftentimes even better than property insurance when
Yeah.
it comes to flooding.
Well, it comes to flooding. That's that one thing.
It didn't happen. So
I think that the big takeaway from all of that is that we're back and that we're just so excited to be
Good.
there from a staff perspective and a team
We're hocked in
perspective.
our eyeballs in debt right now, but we're back, baby.
Yeah. I try not to think about those
I
zeros
understand,
behind that number.
But I understand.
But it's a blessing to be back. It's really
Yes.
it's that I don't know how it was for you, but for myself, that first week was like surreal. It was
Yeah.
going from we wore work boots and it was just
Tool belts to lab coats.
Kudos to our team and to Sarah for like leading our team and like keeping. I mean, our team was amazing. Our I've always said that we have an amazing team, and I knew it. In our dental office because they treat people well. They're good at what they do. They're motivated. They're just incredible.
Sure.
Incredible people. But when this all happened, they showed up with shovels and hammers and work boots, and they went to work doing something completely different than cleaning teeth.
Right.
And
they're cleaning walls out of the building. I mean,
well,
literally.
and this is it from my perspective as a person that's a customer from that side of things. I'm in there 2-3 hours a year maybe
Right.
after all said and done.
Yes.
But I can tell every time I go in there, as a testimony, what you're saying, Keon, is every time it's a very family environment where it's professional, but at the same time very relaxed.
Sure.
Where you walk in, crack a joke, walk out. You know what I mean? The music going.
Well, you
it's
crack
very
a joke? No.
Do we even let you? I mean, between all the instruments in your mouth and
the biggest problem I have every time is we'll get Keon in here eventually. He's got to shut up. So, that's like the biggest thing every time.
I think that was probably the most challenging thing for our dental students is
Yes.
Dr. Hager.
But it's a family, is what I
Right,
mean.
right.
It's a
We have
family
fun.
and so it does not surprise me just based on seeing how everyone just kind of interacts in your office.
Yes.
It does not surprise me that the day after the flood, they're in there in the hip waders doing what they got to do to get cleaned
They're
up.
amazing. They're
Yeah.
amazing. But we're back. We're back. It was truly just amazing. We couldn't have done it without an amazing group of people that helped us, and a lot of prayer. But we're back. It's amazing and it's strange, and we're basically back to 100% again.
Sure.
And, just
now you're playing catch up.
Well, it's funny. It yes and no. I think the first little bit was a little bit of catch
Sure.
up, and now we're kind of just back to
just the normal.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we during while we were closed, we were able to get a lot of our emergencies seen by other dentists in the community who were just wonderful.
Sure.
Or able to see patients at their offices. So we were able to kind of keep we would work
Momentum.
we kind of keep
Sure.
people
triage the things that needed to happen,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and then we can reschedule the things that can wait a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And so we were able to kind of really do a good job and kind of and get people the care they needed while we were down. And luckily, we weren't down for. 6 weeks is a lot, but 6 weeks, it felt like a long.
A lot of our patients
6
will
weeks.
walk in. They're like, I can't believe I'm sitting in this dental chair right now. How did you do this? And so it's so cool because then they also recognize how awesome it is to
Sure.
even be there. So
Yeah.
that gives me more positive energy too. Looking at the positive of all this, and
Yeah.
they're excited to be there, which is so cool for us.
Absolutely.
They wanted to be there.
Well, and that's again going back to all the other stuff we talked about too. The experience your patients get, and this is before flooding, before all. Just regular dental talk when we talk normal dental stuff.
Yes.
That's kind of one thing we always talk about is as the customer, you're in the driver's seat, and you guys understand that when people top 5 places people don't want to be in the world, usually dentist office is one of those places.
Yeah.
Yes. And so you do everything to make that is a pleasant experience. And again, it's back to what I was talking about, the family, just relaxed environment. if you're uncomfortable about, the drills and everything, we can sedate you to make you more relaxed, or, we'll knock you out if you need to, I guess. But Mr. T,
one way or another. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. T would get on a plane.
All our dental assistants, they're much stronger now,
That's right.
physically.
That's
so,
right. But all this physical manual labor, they got guns now. And
now their left hooks have improved. Yeah.
No, the gun show walking around this way.
But it's it's truly a blessing just to be back to what we're doing.
Sure.
And able to do, because it's also kind of one of those things that with the amount of stuff, the type of stuff we do, we do a lot of implants, we do a lot of sedation, all that stuff. It's not like you just set up a room and throw some stuff in there. It's all very specialized things. I mean,
calibrated.
To put someone to sleep. It's just not some you can't just do that. You go to typical dentist and do that. That doesn't happen.
Right.
That's not how that works. And we, from a safety standpoint, so the ability to rebuild all of that technology within our office back to where we were. Some of it even has improved, and so we've,
a few of the machines got updates since you put in the last one.
It was just one of those things. Some of our, some of the efficiency we found things were now that this new technology's out, let's implement this instead of using something that's 3-4 years old. Let's do a new technology.
You have an opportunity here,
right? Yeah. So it's let's continually just improve ourselves and improve the team and I'm not the most organized in my mindset like Sarah. Sarah has
you guys have your yin and yangs, I'm sure.
But Sarah, was able basically as we rebuilt the office, built in more efficiencies, more safeties, more just things that really I think not as many things that you can see from a patient standpoint, but from a safety, from a technology standpoint, from a just overall patient care standpoint improved, which is really, really cool. So
exactly. Look, comfort standpoint, because as some of this equipment, is more, it's less invasive, less time involved, or it's kind of
it's cool. It's cool to be back. It's just a blessing to be back, and it's we love what I can speak for myself and Sarah. We love what we do, and it's fun to be able to do it again.
That's part of the other thing too. When we were joking about getting Keon from room to room, and that's part of it because you actually interact, talk, treat with your patients.
Right.
You get involved in their lives as you get, and so as much as it's Mayberry meets ER. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that, it's got the state of the art of the ER, the latest and greatest, but at the same time, it's like walking into Andy's office in the town drunk, just letting himself into the jail, and I'll see you in the morning. That same feel,
Very homey.
Yeah, exactly. Just down home.
One of the things that we like to do with patients when they come in is to understand where they're coming from and kind of what their goals are, or what they need, or what they want. And a lot of the times, it's nice to have the conversation, like you said, that Dr. Agar has, Keon has with the patients, and we chat with the patients, understand where they're coming from, what they want. So all the treatments that we provide and all the options we provide are to help patients get what they want or what they need. Is it get out of pain, or is it something different to change my smile? I want to look like this, or I want this, or I've been trying to whiten my teeth for so long and it's not working. What's an option, and so all those things are important to us when the patient comes in. One of the things we've been focusing on lately is veneer treatment, and it's something that we're doing in the office from even an aesthetic standpoint, boosting your confidence. Maybe people wanted a smile that they always thought they couldn't obtain, so different things like that. Dr. about implant treatment, things like, hey, I have a missing tooth. I wish I had a tooth there again, or I can't chew. So these types of surgical or even, aesthetic treatments are something that we love to provide to patients.
And the technology in that area is advanced.
Yes.
Like I remember the first generations of veneers and things, and you're like, whoa.
How you doing?
It's like, close your mouth, it's a little bright in here.
Well, what you're saying is true. It actually more. It's actually really. It's actually amazing, because we kind of know all this. We know these things, and
when you can't tell they're veneers, it's when it's amazing. Right. You know what I'm saying? When you're just something has changed and your smile's great.
That's what I'm saying. This isn't your daddy's veneers. Is what I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
And it's funny you say that, because that was for us for years was something that we, for example, okay, so like we adopted 2021, we pretty much went fully digital within our dental office for implants, for crowns, all this stuff. We went digital.
Molds.
The reason why, now digital technology has been out since 2010, okay? And every time I looked at it, I was like, every year I go, or every 2 years I go look at it, I'm like, this is not as good as what we already are doing, right? So I'm not going to adopt this. If it's not better, it could be faster. It could
Why
be more
go backwards
efficient.
if I don't have
Why?
to?
If I can't provide a service that's better than what I currently do, then I'm not going to do it. So we were still taking molds and stuff. Well, 2021 came around, 2 technologies came out, and they were better than what we were doing.
Gotcha.
So we adopted both.
Time to upgrade.
Right. So we adopted one, and then the next year adopted the other.
Which is all digital.
It's all
digital planning.
When it came to veneers, if you asked Sarah and myself veneers in 2020, we were kind of like, veneers suck. They last a couple years. That they don't look so good. It's just not that they
the
suck.
juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Right. It was, we were kind of steering patients more towards, hey, this is not really the best option for you because, I just felt like the technology was not there. It was like, as like what we've discovered is basically in the last, recently, the techniques involved in veneers, the ability to look at everything digitally and put it all together and everything can actually do a long-lasting smile now. Before, it was kind of like you basically were getting like gel nails on your teeth, and that's fine. They look nice, that's fine. But like now,
it's like playing on the Atari versus playing on your new computer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The graphics are way better now.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. To the point where Sarah spent 2 weeks in Brazil with some of the veneer masters who've been doing it for 40 years.
Just so happen to be in Brazil.
But
on the beach.
But it's interesting because those guys are some of the best.
It is summer down there right now.
But you got to remember, the people. So the reason why Brazil is like where you learn veneers is because it's like the entire country is like is like.
There's got to be some plastic surgery going on down there.
Yeah.
I've seen Brazil.
They are a very physically conscious population,
right? And so the technology, the money, the research is there.
The demand is there. Whereas, in the United States, it's not as oftentimes it's not as much there for pushing those techniques and like really refining them because so much of American dentistry oftentimes is insurance focused and whatever. They don't have all that down there, right? So
built for comfort, not for speed.
Some of the best, some of the most amazing guys in the world are there because it's like they have all these Victoria's Secret. Half the Victoria's Secret models come from there, right? Well, these guys are the guys working on them.
It's the weather's nice. There's always beaches. Yeah, it's a good place to hang out if you got a skill set and a lot of people that need it.
Yeah. So because I know we've looked around the country to find who's really doing what we think is the type of treatment we want our patients to get.
Absolutely.
And so Sarah can speak more to that, but it's like one of those things that years ago we both were kind of like in agreement, like this is not something we really want to offer our patients because we can't stand behind it.
And I'm not when it comes to the cosmetic side of life in embedding in yourself. It's hard to make a case like, okay, if you're needing breast implants and things like this, I'm like, all right, that's your choice or whatever.
Sure.
But when it comes to cosmetic dental work, whether it's dentures or veneer, whatever it is,
yes,
it's a different animal. It's a different animal because it indicates a health. Like if you see someone with a mouth that does not look healthy,
yes,
you're going to assume the rest of them is not healthy,
right?
Too. You know what I mean? And in many cases, it might be true.
And really, that's the oral cavity, the mouth. It's a gateway to the body, right?
Yeah.
And just like you said, so if there's something that if there's something that can be changed from a health perspective, let's change it, right? Or let's help you get to whatever those goals might be. You know, when it comes to veneers, and sometimes some of us are a little, or maybe our smile is pretty good, but we just want to refine it, make it even a little more wider, a little bit more straight, or close that gap. But just as you mentioned, there's also situations where people have stained teeth that cannot be white, so those type of people are they want the smile that they can,
or the shape of their teeth. You don't get to select the shape of your teeth. Sometimes people are born,
and that could be a true handicap in life for them if they, depending on their circles they swim in and what they're trying to do in life.
So go ahead.
I was just going to say, and with that type of treatment, it's very mildly invasive. It's not invasive. It's not painful. It's not a surgery, and it's very quick. The turnaround time to have, what you want in your smile is obtainable, and it's a really nice option to, like I said, boost someone's confidence or to meet their goals for themselves, So.
I think, the longer I live and you get older and stuff, and you just kind of like, you start looking around, and I think so many times we see people who, and I think the younger generation is a little bit more aware of this, and they're very much like, no, I don't want to say selfish, but they're a little bit more like, no, I want this for myself, right? Whereas I think a lot of like my generation, maybe Sarah's generation, is very much focused on, my parents, my children. It's a different, but I think that it's one of those things that I think it's important to.
Sure.
You have to take care of yourself, right? You have to take care, and you deserve. And I really, one of the things I really believe is you
don't, no one
deserve
else
to
will.
feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you deserve to feel good. Like why live 40 years of your life, the next 40 years of your life, like not smiling because you hate your teeth.
Sure.
No, like
and there's a
if there's a solution, you should do it. I mean, and then just go live your life.
Yeah, and
right?
if fear is the big reason why you're stopping, what I'm saying is come in and give it a chance. And that's where this is where I'm saying the fear is something you've built up in your head.
Right.
Once you walk in the room, once you sit down, you're like, this is what I was. That's what I'm trying to say. That your whole staff, you two, your whole staff are excellent at providing that ease, trust. Hey, we got you. This is not, and by the
at
time,
least come check it out. You know, at least you're not committed to anything. Just come and see what it's all about.
And by the time you're done, I guarantee you're going to be
are.
like, that was really, I really built up for nothing, and things like that. And trust me, the end game is where you're going to be so thankful you did it. I know, like we talked with Sean and what you guys have done with his mouth and everything else, and it's a game changer for him and for people like that. And so, get yourself that opportunity. Come make an appointment. Talk. Like I said, they've been busy, but they'll get you in now. They're finally got back into the groove, the normal nice groove that they've set up to get everything going here. And so please come down and visit. Please get an appointment. Is it CarabelliDental.com? I can remember if there was a dot, another fancy dot on it. Carabelli Dental, which CARABELLI.
Yes, sir.
Right? Boom.
Easy breezy. Nice.
I type it into the computer a lot when I'm putting the commercials. I got to spell it right because it comes up on RDS. So if I spell it wrong, the world knows real quick.
There you go.
Cardabelli. What is it? Carbadoobie? What is it?
But it's just we're blessed to be back. We're enjoying being back. It's fun. We're having a good time, and we're just excited. Yeah. It's funny. We love what we do, and we've always kind of loved what we do, and we've always been excited to go. But it's a newfound appreciation for even being able to go take care of our patients.
Absolutely.
So it's wonderful.
Yeah, and I do want to just definitely, again, to anyone who's listening, to say thank you. Thank you to the people who stood by us through all that tragedy at the flood, and thank you for everyone who stopped even just to say hello, people who even silently prayed for us. I think that all that is the reason why we're sitting here today having this conversation. So from the bottom of our hearts and from our families, we just do want to say thank you to Roswell and to the surrounding communities and everyone who helped us. So thank you very much to everyone.
We talk about patients coming in who, maybe they're kind of feeling without hope about their teeth or their smiles, whatever. And I think that like in that first week, we felt that, right? Didn't feel. It was hard to find.
Felt a little kicked down a little bit.
Yeah. A lot of down, and felt like it was hopeless.
Like world's winning right now.
Yeah. And you're looking around.
Throw me a bone.
You're looking around, and entire neighborhoods are destroyed.
Sure.
And it's just so devastating. And the people that came and not only prayed for us, they visited us, they brought us food, they came and helped, they put on their tool belts, and they showed up every day. It was just.
And as the progress happens, it starts. One room starts getting. And the next room.
And then the hope, and then you have hope, and you're like, this is awesome.
We got this.
But it's taking the first step. And that's really what we're saying here is once you take the first step,
exactly,
you're going to find out it's going to be a great ride, and the
dental office isn't as scary as you think.
Exactly.
And if it is scary to you, we'll put you to sleep.
We got you.
And sometimes, depending on what they don't even need the drugs. Keon just talk, and you'd be like, next thing you know, just kidding.
Yeah, that'll put them to sleep. Yeah, there you
go. We got options for everyone.
Yeah, that's right. Mr. T, we'll talk you to sleep, we'll bore you to sleep, we'll drug you, whatever. Just kidding. That's but please, and here's the thing. Thank you guys. This is I know I see you guys are very, very grateful and everything, and we know that, but at the same time, I think the community is very grateful for that, and I really do believe you reap what you sow, and I think the rally and the folks, I think you saw a little bit of what you sowed.
I appreciate that, Mike. Thank you.
And that's why I thank you guys. And the great part is, all the services you're doing, and because of what you're able to continue with that.
Yes.
And that's something. And
yes.
I know the amount of outside of the 9 to 5 of your office work you guys do to work in the community and help people out in various levels in the dental world. And so I'm thankful you're able to continue that, and I'm thankful that you guys are here to do it with us.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that.
Yeah. CarabelliDental.com, and come on down, get your appointments, and if it's an emergency, whatever, call, and they'll get you in as soon as humanly possible. There, not right this minute because they're here. They're here.
They're actually there. If you want to call right now, 575-622-4455.
Yeah, the people that do the cogs in the wheel that they get all the everything.
The actually
going
important people are there. Yeah, right now.
Actually, I did see multiplicity over the weekend. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of Sarahs and a couple Keons over there right now. That's how they got through this. That's what we're not admitting. It was prayer and multiplicity.
There you go.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, Mike.
I know you got some work with Sean next door here,
I appreciate it.
And then you got to get to work. So
yes.
Thank you guys, and I'm so glad
we're
everything's
blessed to
going
be
well.
back.
Anything else we can do, please let us know.
Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, 7:51. Let's pause for news. Kim Commando, commercials, and I think that covers it. Don't go away. We'll be back.
Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're in good shape for the next 2 days. High pressure is overhead. Pretty comfortable daytime highs today in the mid-50s, and we'll get sunshine. Upper teens for the overnight low tonight and clear with a little cold front moving through. We'll get sunshine on Thursday, and we'll be hitting about 40 on the afternoon high, so we'll be cooling off a little bit. Then we bounce back to the mid-50s with sunshine Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report. I'm James Flippin. U.S. stocks finished higher yesterday as the talking point on Wall Street was President Trump's tone concerning tariffs, which may be softer than originally anticipated, and so investors interpreting the tea leaves in terms of that and the impact on international trade, helping stocks advance. In terms of what Trump had said, he issued a broad memorandum directing federal agencies to study unfair trade policies, but he did stop short of authorizing new tariffs for now. He's floated levies as high as 25% on goods from Mexico and Canada and discussed the possibility of China facing tariffs. Economic data, look for December's leading economic indicators to be published. And in company-specific news, 3M saw its share price rise yesterday after its earnings beat expectations. A series of big names in tech advanced, including Amazon, Nvidia, and Google parent Alphabet, but Apple sold off after analysts downgraded the stock. The Teamsters Union is preparing to go on strike against Costco if the two sides fail to reach a new contract agreement. Over 80% of Teamsters have voted to authorize a strike against the retailer starting February 1st, the day after their contract expires. With business, I'm James Flippin.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
James Golden, a.k.a. Bo Snerdley, here with an urgent warning. While we celebrate Trump's historic win, and now China is targeting your money with a kill shot on the dollar. That's why thousands of Americans are shielding their savings with gold and contacting the experts at Colonial Metals Group. For a free gold guide that explains everything you need to know, freegoldguide.com/Bo or call 800-941-0498 for your free gold guide and find out if you qualify for up to $7,500 in free silver.
So your pecans aren't as big and bountiful as they used to be? Well, what would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. Few people knew as much about pecans as Jim Gill. And if he were here today, he'd tell you it was time to fertilize. He'd tell you just what you need and show you how to use it. Then he'd make some joke about your neighbors making fun of your nuts.
So when there's trouble with your pecans, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico for 2023? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Sure, you can inspect your own roof, get out that rickety ladder, crawl around up there and try to spot the problem until... Or you can call the experts at Do Right Roofing. Do Right Roofing has quality products for any type of roof. They can even install seamless gutters. Do Right Roofing will inspect your roof and give you a free estimate fast. Keep your feet on the ground. Call Do Right Roofing today.
575-623-2273. Let Do Right do your roof right.
Find them fast in names and numbers. Stock up your freezer with premium New Mexico grown beef cuts delivered straight to your door from Runyon Cattle Meats. Runyon Cattle Meats offers premium grass-fed, grain-finished beef in whole, halves, and quarters, along with special seasonings that perfectly complement the meat. Find mouth-watering recipes, cut lists, gift baskets, and more at RunyonCattleMeats.com. Order today by calling Runyon Cattle Meats at 575-760-5655 or online, RunyonCattleMeats.com.
Your home for Armed American Radio is 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
Politics doesn't matter to President Trump.
I'm going to North Carolina, which has been abandoned by the Democrats. And I'm going to North Carolina, very importantly, first. I'll be there on Friday. And then I'm going from there to Los Angeles,
where red flag fire warnings have been extended through tomorrow.
Fueled by severe drought conditions and strong winds that continue.
We're looking at another Santa Ana wind event developing today through Thursday morning. And we're going to see an additional round of critical fire weather conditions.
Some evacuation orders remain in effect. Other residents are slowly going back. Meanwhile, Los Angeles beginning preparations to shore up hillsides to protect against potential weekend rain.
Correspondent Julie Walker. What a difference an election makes. The Trump Justice Department directing prosecutors to investigate any state or local officials who stand in the way of enforcement of federal immigration laws. President Trump demanding an apology from an Episcopal bishop after he attended a prayer service at Washington National Cathedral.
At the end of her sermon, the Right Reverend Marianne Buddy directly appealed to the president, asking him to have mercy on the LGBTQ community and migrant workers who are in the U.S. illegally. After returning to the White House, Mr. Trump said he didn't think it was a good service. And later, in an overnight social media post, he sharply criticized the bishop, calling her a radical left, hardline Trump hater. He wrote that she and her church owe the public an apology. Greg Clugston, Washington.
A winter storm of historic proportions spreading snow and ice from Texas to the Florida Panhandle on up into eastern North Carolina. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up 71 points, the Nasdaq 223 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Making America great again starts with making America healthy again. You know, I lost over 50 pounds on the PhD weight loss and nutrition program, nearly 3.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Survey finds that 55% of likely U.S. voters say America is a more divided nation after the 4 years of Biden's presidency. Just 16% thinks the country is less divided, while 30% believe the level of division is about the same as before Biden became president. The survey of 1,220 U.S. likely voters was conducted on January 16th and 19th to the 20th, 2025 by Rasmussen Reports. The margin of sampling error was plus or minus 3 percentage points with a 95% level of confidence. Bernie Bennett reporting.
Communist China's military buildup goes on, commissioning a new generation frigate as competition rises with the U.S. and other regional powers. China says this vessel will play a vital role in enhancing the overall combat effectiveness of its forces, the ship being deployed in the South China Sea. Townhall.com. Young scholars in New York State may have to ditch the phone during school hours.
That would start next fall under a proposal announced by Governor Kathy Hochul. The plan, which would require legislators' approval, would take effect next school year and force students to disconnect from their phones and other personal devices while at school, including in class, during lunch, and in hallways. Hochul announced the plan Tuesday as part of her budget proposal for the coming year and said the state would provide $13.5 million to help schools implement the cell phone bans. At least 8 other states have enacted measures banning or restricting cell phones in schools. Keith Peters reporting.
Rupert Murdoch's tabloids in the UK have made a rare apology to Prince Harry. It's part of a settlement of his privacy invasion lawsuit. Under the settlement, the papers will also pay Harry a substantial sum of money. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The traveler said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Crazy news.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Wednesday.
Welcome to it.
It is Wednesday.
Indeed.
It's going to be a little warmer today.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's the thaw.
Like
the great thaw.
I ain't going to be lying. It's been a while since I looked forward to 50. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
It's going to be nice today. 54. What?
People are like, I would rather have it this cold than 105, which I agree. I do prefer cold to hot, but there's a limit. I like to be able to feel my fingertips.
I do. I would, because yes, I too have a vet camp because you can add more clothing and only take off so much.
Exactly.
So by nature, I am that way.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I want nothing to do with 9, 16, 18, or any of those numbers in my temperature.
You know what's funny is I got in my car this morning and it was 16 degrees according to my car.
Yeah.
And I could feel the difference between 10 and 16. Like there was a marked difference.
Yeah. It's kind of like 95 and 105.
Yeah, well, it was tolerable, is what I'm saying.
But you know what I'm saying? But and I'm not going to lie, as I'm getting older in age, I am less tolerant to colder temperatures. I've noticed, and maybe less hair too. That might be a factor as well.
That could definitely be a factor.
And I do find myself bundling up a lot more in the last couple of years than I have. Before I'd be wearing shorts and it's 35 out. You know?
By the way, I know it's bitter, blistering cold, especially in the mornings and late at nights.
Yeah.
It's still not cold enough to throw a pot of boiling water in the air and have it turn to ice. All right, don't do it.
You know what? You're asking for problems when you try these things anyway.
Well, you know what? Let me rephrase that. If you feel inclined to throw a thing of boiling water in the air, go for it. You probably deserve what happens.
Stick to bottle flipping.
Yeah.
If you need to get a TikTok, sorry. Oh, no, they're back. You can TikTok video.
They're totally back.
It was only down for a couple hours. But if you're trying to do TikTok videos, then maybe stick to bottle flipping or something.
It's really funny because still now, like, I'll be kind of scrolling through, and not even TikTok, but just like, other short form videos or whatever, and you just come on these heartfelt goodbyes.
Yeah.
A bunch of people are just like, well, this is it. I just want to thank all the people that supported me for so long. And it's like, y'all, give it 6 hours. One kid, and I'm sure you saw the story, one kid was so distraught over the loss of TikTok, he went and burned his congressman's house to the ground. You didn't see the story?
No.
Yeah. He was upset about the TikTok ban, went to his congressman's house and burned it to the ground.
Please explain to me how mental health's not a problem in this country again.
Yeah. Egg on his face, though, when it came back 3 hours later, he's like, oh, guess I shouldn't have done that.
Right.
Huh?
You're sitting in jail for what now? 6 hours of missing TikTok? Yeah. That's the world we live in now. But I would, like to see a Sarah McLachlan-esque montage of all, like, the fads over the last, say, 10, 15 years on everything from planking.
See, and you could do it.
To Cinnamon Challenge.
You could do it. You don't even have to do the Arms of the Angels.
Yeah.
You could do the I will remember you.
Yeah.
And then just show somebody planking.
Yeah.
Will you remember
Tide
me? I was going to say the Harlem Shake. Do y'all remember that?
Flossing.
Did you do the Harlem Shake? The station I was working at the time, the boss was like, we need to do this Harlem Shake thing. Everybody get in the studio.
I think that's when I would have quit radio. I would have walked out.
It was not one of my prouder moments for sure.
That's the day I'm like, I'm not doing this. I don't care what you say. I'm not doing it.
Cut to a shot of Tebowing.
I don't need that many people liking me. And quite frankly, you like me because I know the Harlem Shake.
What bugs me even more is I'm pretty sure, I don't think it's on YouTube. I don't think we were put it on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure somewhere that video still exists.
The internet's
forever, man.
Unless someone dig that up. Just post it in our comments.
That'd be nice. By the way, Antonio, he seconded my my Lincoln Lawyer recommendations.
Indeed,
for
every
Netflix,
episode is something. No filler episodes.
Yeah, it's a good
I
show.
would get someone a
I was
Netflix up
entertained
just
by
so
it.
they could watch it. Nice.
The Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix.
I'm definitely going to give it
It's a good show. 3 seasons
shot.
are up. And the good news is they leave you hanging on 3. Yeah. Good news is they leave you hanging on 3, but I have confirmed there is a season 4, and it's due out like end of this year, beginning of next year. So.
Nice.
Because you're going to be at the
Well,
end.
so
mad.
now's a great time to start it, so I can,
Hopefully it'll be out by then. Although I watched all 3 seasons in a matter of a month or so.
Oh, really?
I watched it pretty quick.
Yeah, you burned through it.
Well, I got into it. And,
Yeah.
And when that happens, I started to marathon it a little bit. So
That's why I recommend Squid Game. I'm pretty sure you could burn through both of those seasons in a weekend.
yeah. And my wife wasn't involved in the watching of this with me, which I'm probably going to now say you should check this out. I've been telling her it's a good show, and I think she'd like it. But sometimes when I have to wait for my wife, I don't get to watch it as fast.
Yeah.
Because I'll, like at lunchtime, I'll eat lunch and catch an episode, and that's kind of.
That's why it's taken us now almost a year, or going on 2 years to finish Shameless.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
that's like 7 seasons.
No, it's 11.
11. I knew it was a lot of seasons.
It's a
Yeah.
lot of seasons.
Yeah,
We're
I know.
in season, I think, 8 now.
And it's not like Letterkenny where they're 30 minutes and you can crank out, and they're like 7 episodes where you can crank out a season in about 3 hours of sitting.
No, it's 1 episode a day at this point. And that, not even that. We've been on hiatus for a while. So
I thought you were done with Shameless.
No, not quite. We're getting there. It's,
wow.
At this point, it feels like more of a job.
Yeah.
Like we're like, I guess let's go finish this.
I thought you were done with Shameless.
Not quite.
I hadn't heard in a while, but yeah. Well, then shoot, you got more. You got more bombs. The last season doesn't end. I mean, it ends, but I mean, there's some bows tied up. Some you're just like, and then it's.
Here's the thing. I heard
Put it this
once,
way, it's very Frank-esque.
I heard once Fiona leaves in season 9, it all just kind of goes downhill. And,
It gets. Oh, so you haven't even got to that part yet?
No, we're not quite there yet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Fiona's
Yes,
still.
She does
still
leave
there.
and goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Frank. Yeah. You're gonna hate him more.
I don't know how that's possible.
And then they pull that out from under you at the end, and you're like, well, they do the same thing they've been doing the whole time with him.
We're in his retribution arc where he's working, trying to hold down a job, and earn an honest living.
Well, Frank will do Frank.
Oh yeah. I feel like this is.
And
the
then Frank will
blow-up
do
is
Frank
coming.
again, and then you'll like him. So. But yeah. Well, and if I remember right, like that last season, he's it's foot in the grave type.
Yeah, well,
stuff. He's always had a foot in the grave, but it's really foot in the grave by then. You got to watch the show to understand.
I
what I'm
honestly
talking
might
about.
give up.
Yeah,
we might just call it.
It's so good though.
I
mean,
feel
it's
like
it's so
we've gotten
annoying.
all of it, the good out of it, we're gonna get. You know?
That's just it. It's like you get invested so hard, and then you start. But it's almost like I've gotten this far. I got to finish.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It feels like a slog now. I'm
but at the same
digging through
time,
it.
I was enjoying it because it's so over the top with some of the what this family does, you know, and it's just
and survives.
It's like I can't believe it, but it makes complete sense all at the same time. If that's even possible, it's like this is so over the top, but I understand.
But yeah, it tracks.
Yeah. I should turn your mic on.
Oh.
We were just talking about that.
Have you watched
I
that was
have
a good
not
wife.
started it yet.
Yeah.
I've heard really, really good things though.
Okay. My sister loves it, and she's like, you guys have to watch this. So we watched it with her. It's good.
It's good?
It's
All
good.
right.
That's not the sitcom
with Ted Danson
where they go to heaven?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like years ago when they put it on TV for a minute, I feel like I watched an episode on it, but I never.
In the very first couple of episodes, you're like, but by like the third episode, like you're really invested into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it took me a few episodes. I was like,
I like shows that have fantasy concepts like that, like if you're in heaven or apocalyptic, or where they put you in worlds that are, maybe in some way plausible kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like you're just kind of like, and I love shows and movies that kind of like, I'm not gonna lie, it's still a top 10 movie in my my reel is the movie Defending Your Life with Albert Brooks.
That is a great movie.
Love that movie.
That is a great
with,
movie.
Meryl Streep and him. And if you don't know the premise, that came out in the 80s. The premise of the movie is Albert Brooks gets hit by a bus and goes to heaven. And he's in basically what's purgatory. But their version of purgatory is like you go on trial for your life and defending your life, defending your actions and what you did and why you did it. And do you deserve to go on, or do you get, in their version, you don't go downstairs, you go get recycled, basically.
Right.
You get recycled.
Well, you start over. You get
Oh, okay.
you get back down to earth and try again. That's kind of there. But the way the movie's set up, it's almost like purgatory set up like the Mall of America. Like you stay in a posh hotel, you eat as much as you want. And it's kind of funny because like the movie, the way it goes is Albert Brooks is just a guy, kind of thing. He's done. Meryl Streep, he meets in purgatory. And they start a romance. But her character is like this. Like his trial's like 7 days. Hers is like 3 days. And like they go into his trial and it's like lawyers arguing. Her trial, it's literally like they're just watching film and like all laughing and reminiscing about her life. And, remember this time you rescued this kid from a fire? Stuff like this.
Oh, yeah, she's in.
Yeah. And, but then, it's just neat how I liked their whole, that vision of earth, heaven and all that. It's just fun to watch it. So I probably would get into that show. All that saying, I probably would like that because I did watch it and I watched with my wife and then it just kind of didn't pick it up or whatever. But how many seasons of that is? Is it done?
There's quite a few.
I think there's 5 or 6 seasons and it is done.
Okay. But not all of them were on TV, right? Didn't it go right to Netflix?
It went right to Netflix.
Okay.
So, of course, like I had never heard of The Good Place until my sister, and so it's funny because one of the podcasts that I listened to, they made a reference from there, and I was like, oh my god, because in The Good Place they have bees with teeth.
Oh,
bees.
So I was like, huh. And I think it's funny because in the podcast she goes, and I hope you go to the good place with bees with teeth. And I was like, oh, I remember that.
That's what that is. There was 4 seasons.
4 seasons,
it says
okay.
It ended, so there won't be a 5th season.
So they kind of got the Brooklyn Nine-Nine treatment. Remember that show kept jumping networks, and finally, like that one and one of the Tim Allen shows where it's like kind of a hit, but the network's not too big on it. And so, like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it went from Fox, NBC to Fox, Fox NBC.
No, Fox had it first, and then NBC got it.
And then the Tim Allen show did the same thing. Last Man Standing. That one. Yeah, I couldn't remember the name of it. That started on like NBC or something. I think it finished on Fox.
Yeah.
Or ABC. I think it was on ABC, and then it went to Fox. Which, weirdly enough, Tim Allen has a new show. That at the end of the day is not all that different from Last Man Standing.
Well, or Home Improvement. It's sort of he's
it's the same guy in a different work environment, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. Everything that you see on the previews, that's all it is.
He's a little more curmudgeon in Last Man Standing than he is in Home Improvement. But and I've watched one episode of this one, and it is what it is. It's what you thought it was. It's Kat, kind of the rebellious,
It's
a
real man stuck in the modern world, essentially. And
so I've only watched one episode.
Trying to still be.
I only think there's been one out, maybe 2, but I don't know. Maybe I watched 2. I don't know, but
I feel like that's what's going to happen with St. Dennis Medical. It is one of the best new shows of the season. But I don't think enough people have watched it. It's not really catching on.
But they're trying hard on that one.
I hope.
Because I'm seeing a lot of promotion for it. I'm seeing a lot of and a lot of promotion I'm seeing is kind of jiving with what you said. It's that come see what everyone's saying about this show. Kind of, the one they're really saying it's really, really good. You should watch it. It's
really funny. Yeah, it's really funny, but it also has a lot of heart. Like there's, I mean, it feels like the closest that they've gotten to nailing Scrubs yet. Like it's not quite to that level, but it's close.
Right. To me, it looks like an atypical NBC comedy. Like
if you liked Superstore, you probably like this. It's kind of in that same vein.
But like all NBC comedies are of that vein.
What about Grey's Anatomy? Is it close to Grey's Anatomy?
Well, Grey's Anatomy is way more like a drama. Yeah,
this is more comedic.
Yeah.
St. Dennis Medical. It's a half hour. David Allen Greer's one of the
the doctor.
One of the doctors.
I think I've seen the commercials for it during football games. So.
Yeah, they've it was on last night, I think.
Was it? Okay. Yeah, we've just been getting caught up
because Night Court comes on after it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The last episode I watched was the Christmas episode, so
okay.
I got some catching up to do as well. But yeah, great show.
But it just to me is like NBC sitcoms. You kind of I could if you didn't tell me nothing or say anything, I could literally. Here's a show I'd watch it. That's an NBC one. That's a CBS one.
Mm-hmm.
That's an ABC one.
Yeah,
they all
each have a certain veneer,
like all the CBS ones, and I think it's to deal with the writing stuff. You know, like you were talking about Bill Lawrence. He did a lot of stuff with NBC, and of course, Big Bang Theory boy, I can't remember Chuck Lorre or whatever. He's done a lot of his stuff with CBS. ABC's in the sitcom world's kind of been the redheaded stepchild in there.
Yeah,
they've had the Tim Allen type comedies. They get a couple, but they don't. I think Reba is one of theirs. Oh no, that's NBC too. That's an NBC.
The new Reba show?
The new Reba show is an NBC. It's on Friday night, so they don't have much hope with that. They crowbarred it there with George Lopez and other shows. They don't have much hope on. But again, atypical NBC shows. So, Crystal's not here to talk about television.
She's not. Well, she could. I bet.
I could. However,
she's got to talk dogs and cats.
we got stuff to talk.
So let's do this. Let's pause. It's 9:22. We're going to pause for weather and then a quick break, and then we'll come back and then we'll talk Crystal officially as Humane Society representative. So don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're in good shape for the next 2 days. High pressure is overhead. Pretty comfortable daytime highs today in the mid-50s, and we'll get sunshine. Upper teens for the overnight low tonight and clear with a little cold front moving through. We'll get sunshine on Thursday, and we'll be hitting about 40 on the afternoon high, so we'll be cooling off a little bit. Then we bounce back to the mid-50s with sunshine Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Hey, Roswell, Happy New Year. Roswell Ford has a New Year's resolution you're going to love. We resolve to sell more new Fords in 2025, so we're going to make it super fun, super fast, and super easy, just for you. In fact, we'll give you the price we'd give to a friend or family member right up front. So bring us any trade in any condition. Don't even wash it, because at Roswell Ford, all trades are welcome. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? We can help. We'll take your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with more aggressive lenders, all with great rates and terms for good credit, no credit, and even bad credit, with rates as low as 0% APR. Plus, we have a great selection of low mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Huge savings, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance, plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
Do you know what the hardest part of dealing with the roofer is? Just trying to get them on the phone. Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I want you to know that you can always trust Trustmark Roofing to answer our phone. Need a free roof inspection? Just call us at 575-755-ROOF, and we'll answer with a live person, a real human being. Have a roofing project already going with us and need to discuss it? Just call 575-755-ROOF, and we will answer the phone. No answering machine, no voicemails, and no weird robot automated attendant. That's because at Trustmark Roofing, we're all about relationships and treating people right. That's true for customers and vendors and insurance companies and employees. Anyone and everyone who comes in contact with our company. So if you have any roofing needs at all, trust Trustmark to treat you right and to answer the phone. Our number again is 575-755-ROOF, or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Some wounds need expert care to heal properly. At Artesia General Hospital's Wound Care and Hyperbaric Medicine Center, we use advanced treatments like hyperbaric oxygen therapy to help chronic wounds heal faster. If you or a loved one has a wound that won't heal, call 575-736-8235 today and take the first step toward recovery.
It's one of those things we've all had on our mind. No matter how much we want to ignore it, we all know that wisdom teeth can cause pain, teeth crowding, and even infection. Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental. I am proud to be a part of an outstanding team who understands your concerns when considering wisdom teeth removal. Call us today and let our staff walk you through the process so that you are confident and prepared for your wisdom teeth removal. And don't worry, we have sedation dentistry options so that you can rest and feel at ease.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental. Call 575-622-4455.
Hi, I'm Chef Anthony Noble at the Valley Cafe located at 801 West Brasher in Roswell. We want to welcome you for dinner 5 to 8 p.m. weekdays, except Wednesday we close at 2 p.m. If you haven't tried our food yet, I hope you come try one of our dinner entrees, pasta, soups, salads, burgers, and sandwiches, and our weekly specials as well. Let me make you great dinner. Visit the Valley Cafe at 801 West Brasher, the Orange Building across from Church on the Move in Roswell.
Can't see us in person? Find our full menu on DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats.
Space, the final frontier.
Hi, Captain. You can choose your space at Main Trailer Sales.
Fascinating. Don't cling on to that old camper. The logical choice. New Durangos, Montanas, Cougars, and Passports from Main Trailer Sales. They allow space and comfort. Boldly explore like never before.
Beam on board to that perfect camper.
Don't go camping without us. Live long and explore.
Main Trailer Sales. Don't go camping without us.
The inventor of Pringles is buried in a Pringles can. I wonder if they got their hands stuck putting him in there. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is now 9:27, and joining us officially in studio, Crystal Noble's back with us from the Roswell Humane Society. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's life at the? I mean, first off, heat working well at the building. I know.
Heat as well.
You know, we got concrete
outside
floors and concrete walls, so it's probably not the warmest place in the world. But
heaters are working great. We have the outsides, you know, obviously we don't have heat outside. So in the mornings when people are coming in to look at the dogs, we tell them don't go outside because it's extremely slippery, even with us putting the
right. And ain't nothing to see out there anyway. So.
Yeah, no. Even with us putting the salts down, it's still slippery.
Yeah.
Because the direction of the sun this time of the year, the majority of the runs don't get sun.
My house has got one of those spots, and even to this day, there is still a lump of snow about this big right by my driveway that will not melt no matter what.
Give it a couple weeks.
Right.
But the main thing that we've been dealing with recently because of the cold temperatures, we now became partners with a group at its house called No Cold Dog.
Okay.
And so what that is they provide us with straw to provide for people.
Excellent.
For their animals.
Yeah.
City limits, county. We gave out the last of the straw yesterday. The entire state of New Mexico is on a shortage of straw.
Gotcha.
We're waiting for the next shipment to come in.
Okay.
Part of the requirements is when we give you the straw, we have to take photos of us giving you the straw so that way we can send it back to the organization.
Everybody needs documentation that that's what they said.
Or if we deliver it to your house, then we have to photo, us helping you put it in your doghouse, etc.
Proof of use.
Yep, pretty much. And that just goes for them to, know that we're actually utilizing what they are giving us to help the community. If you need straw, call down to the kennels, give us your name and phone number. As soon as Roswell Livestock gets some more in, we got the last of what Big R had the other day.
Okay.
And we've already gone through that. So once Roswell Livestock gets their next shipment in, we will get more. And then I will start calling people and saying, okay, this is what we got. How many dogs do you have?
And I imagine, too, it might be trickier than you think because, we're not the only area dealing with these kind of temperatures right now.
No.
And I'm sure they're dealing with the same issues we are in these situations. So there's a lot of demand for something that there's not enough of right now.
Exactly. Yes,
so
exactly.
That's the big picture here. This is toilet paper and the COVID, some of those COVID things we saw. It's a little of that going on.
Yes. So once we get it, we will start, getting in touch with everybody that's needing some to get them some. So just if you need some, call down to the shelter, give us your name and phone number so that way once we have the straw in hand, we can call you and say, okay, you can come and pick it up.
And I'm take a stab. Anybody listening that just may happen to just be sitting on some straw that they could part with, reach out to the Humane Society. They would love to talk to you. Right.
Well, the wind and the majority of the time, if it's just a regular cold temperature, yes, it is cold. But when you have the wind and then you have the wind chill factor, we put our turnout coat on our horse the other night. And
I'm ready for the warmth.
Let me have my banky.
Yeah.
So
and that's the thing too. And horses, they're a little bit. Dogs and cats are not built for this. And that's why, if all that none of them should be outside at all. But But if you're choiceless on this situation, then please, the straw, you got to provide some kind of shelter for them, some kind of place where they can be warm.
So it is in the city ordinance, if your animals are outside, that they have to have a proper structure that has to be elevated, and they have to have fresh water within reach. They don't have to have food 24/7.
And they're just updating the ordinances.
They are.
I just saw some
starting April 11th, it will be illegal to have your animal chained or tethered.
Good.
There are certain exceptions, like as if you are working with the dog trainer and you are outside with the animal and you have it tethered while you're doing commands and standing away.
But no, just leaving a dog in the backyard chained up and walking away.
You do have to have a completely fenced-in area suitable for that size of dog.
Gotcha. So I'm guessing, like, say you're in the backyard gardening and you chain the dog up to keep the dog from getting in the thing. That's okay.
Yes.
But the moment you leave the backyard, you better unchain that dog.
Yes.
Got it.
So, or if you're mowing the yard and, the dog, you don't want the dog running in front of the lawnmower, you can tell it. As long as you are outside monitoring the animal,
then you're good to go.
You're good to go.
But the moment you leave and abandon that dog, then you're not in compliance and in violation of the ordinance, which police can act accordingly.
Right. So the city put out a notice on Facebook the other day. I believe it was on the news the night before. They're giving people a chance from now until April 11th to start getting things fixed. That's
finding resolutions to be in compliance.
4 months notice. After that, then they will start issuing citations and taking necessary actions if people are not complying.
Quite honestly, if you're not taking actions now with the weather we're having, you know what I mean?
Right.
This should not be they shouldn't be out right now. I don't care what you say, what you do. Nope. I understand there's certain circumstances, but the temps when it's 9 out, you need to bring that dog inside.
Yes. Regardless of the size, you know, and if you have an animal that you don't want it to be a part of your family and be in the house, then maybe you shouldn't have an animal.
Exactly. That's the point I'm making here. And that's so I get it. Yes. But you do. But for folks that do, and I understand people raise a certain way then I get that and attitudes, and we can have those debates all day. But the fact of the matter is, by April, you got to stop doing this.
Yes.
And if you don't make preps now, you've got a 3-month grace period to get in compliance. And if you do not, they're going to come after you. And quite frankly, they should, because there's a reason why she has to come on twice a month to talk about why there are so many animals and things. And this is just one sliver in the reason why of that. And so until she's coming in begging for animals, we're going to need to keep doing stuff like this.
Right. So there were other changes with the ordinance as well. So the chain ban went through, but now it's also an ordinance that it's not only a rabies vaccination that is required. If you have a dog, you are required to have their parvo distemper vaccinations as well, and microchipped and spay or neutered.
That just makes sense. And you said this 100 times on this show. We live in an environment where parvo thrives.
Yep.
It never really dies. It just goes dormant for a bit. That's about it. And so the odds of your dog getting parvo in this community is higher than other communities. So it's so easy to fix it. You go down, you get the vaccination, your dog's good. You ain't got to worry about nothing. It's an easy fix. The fact that we have to tell you to do this is the problem. This is why you know what? If every dog got, guess what? They would never have these outbreaks at the kennels, whether it's the humane or the animal control.
No.
Because of this stuff. And this is something that, and this is the thing. It's not these parvo outbreaks. It's almost to a point where it's like, oh, it's almost expected. At least once a year, we're going to have a parvo quarantine because it's so bad.
Right.
It's almost Christmas is coming. Parvo quarantine season's coming. It's that.
It is that bad
prevalent.
Because, as we were talking, we've had 4 days of cold weather. Mm-hmm. That is not long enough for it to freeze out and kill the virus.
Right.
Or any virus, matter of fact. It doesn't matter parvo, distemper, or anything. We need long, lengthy cold where we're staying cold continuously, and we live in a region where we don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we have so many viruses, and that's why it's so important for you to not only get them current on their parvo distemper vaccinations. For cats, it's the RCP vaccination, and they're inexpensive. They really are. When you look at, the cost to get the vaccinations versus the cost of the vet bill if they contact the viruses.
Well, and the thing too is, it's once these animals contract these things, it's death sentences for many.
Yes.
And the other unfortunate thing is they're very contagious. Like if one dog gets parvo in a building with a bunch of dogs, all the dogs are getting parvo if they're not vaccinated or having any kind of immunities or protections from this stuff. So.
Right. They are easily transferable, airborne, contact. If you have a litter of puppies that are in the same group, if one has parvo, 9 out of 10 times the others are going to have parvo.
Yep.
If the mom is not vaccinated, puppies can get parvo in utero from mom and then be born with it.
And is there a certain weight that before you can even give a dog a parvo vaccine?
They need to be at least 6 weeks of age.
So they're pretty much given a death sentence before they're born. Basically.
Pretty
and you
much.
can't do a thing about it until till 6 weeks later, and you hope they survive the 6 weeks.
Right. And so by making sure that all animals are vaccinated, we limit the amount of animals that are being born with parvo in utero. But also spaying and neutering your animals, and you won't have a litter of puppies that are going to be possibly born with parvo. We have so many animals that are unfortunately having to be euthanized, not just here in Roswell, but all over the state of New Mexico, because of people breeding. Oh, I can make money off this dog. She's cute. He's cute. They'd make cute puppies. We don't need more animals in this world. We need more responsible animal people.
Look, if you're trying to make a fast buck, I'm going to tell you right now, very few options work. But if you're trying to make a fast buck, stop trying to breed pets. Stick to TikTok videos, okay?
Yeah.
At least all you can do is harm yourself there.
Right. Honestly, TikTok is so popular. People were having massive meltdowns because, oh my God, TikTok was going to get shut off.
Yeah.
Turn off your phones and go outside.
Yeah.
Go see what nature is, instead of just, staring at that screen all day long.
But if you're trying to make a quick buck, please don't use the animals for your path.
Stay on TikTok or Instagram, whatever.
Because what that leads to is you sitting in the Walmart parking lot trying to sell $200 dogs to people
and
that
that's
are
illegal.
probably sick, and here we sit in the situation of that after years and years and years and years of this kind of stuff going unchecked and unfettered. It's been checked hard in the last 5-10 years or so, but we're so far behind the 8 ball on this one that it's going to be years of this kind of behavior to fix it. It's stuff like this. We're going to have to enforce these ordinances, make people get these shots, make sure that these animals aren't chained up, make sure they're getting spayed and neutered, make sure they're getting microchipped. These are the things that we have to enforce to correct this problem.
And that's the sad thing, is the fact that we actually have to make ordinances and enforce it. It's common sense when you have an animal.
And all these things are just responsible things as a pet owner should be doing. It's no different than you having a child and you have to get its shots and you have to get it educated and everything. It's no different.
Nope. Do you leave your child outside chained up?
Put it this way, if you did those things you did to your dog, to your kid, would you not be sitting in jail right now? That's all I'm saying.
Right.
I know we're getting soapboxy here, but I know, and people get salty, but look.
I get a little amped up because it's annoying, the fact that we have to basically.
Well, every excuse given that's a bad against this is the reason we're sitting in this problem to begin with. I get freedom and I get everything else, but you got to be responsible. With freedom comes responsibility. And if you can't accept the responsibility, maybe you shouldn't handle the freedom. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. I'm going to hop over to the thrift store really quickly.
Yes, let's change gears. I think we yelled at people enough.
I could yell for hours. They have a ton of stuff right now. So if you go to Roswell High and you need a Roswell High sports jacket, they have a ton of them.
Good.
And they've got them for $50 a piece, the Leatherman jackets.
Okay.
Normally,
what do they go about, $200-$300?
Yep.
I have no idea. I bought one recently, but I know they're not cheap.
No,
they were
not.
a couple hundred when I was in high school. So yeah.
Right. So they've got them for $50 a jacket. They also have just regular hoodies and jackets because it's cold outside. They have a lot of shoes, men's, women's, kids. A lot of purses for
depending how cold you are, we could all be Roswell High graduates today.
Right? Right. We'd be like, go Roswell.
That's right.
A lot of purses for the women out there who love the purses.
Hint, hint,
Me and
nod,
Kim.
nod. Yeah.
Me and Kim.
I think some of them might be my wife's purses, to be honest.
No, they didn't even make it.
They're gone?
Oh, no, those are gone. They have a lot of brand new baby strollers and a ton of baby accessories, like, the little walkers and then all the stuff that are hundreds of dollars.
And the stuff that, quite frankly, you only use for a certain section of your life, and 99% of it's good again. Obviously when we talk car seats and stuff get inspected, but like the baby strollers and playpens and the things
high chairs and all of that
you
stuff.
spend hundreds of dollars on that you only use for a year or two. Yeah.
Well, the fun stuff is about these ones is they're still in the box. So somebody got multiples of the same things for birthdays and baby showers. And
so if you're just starting the family and I'm planning on having more than one of these, this might ride you through through kids here.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Got a lot of pants, joggers, the windbreakers for men and young men. A lot of formal dresses. I know school dances are about to start coming
I
up.
would say a prom season and all that. And as the weather gets warmer, the quinceañeras and all that will start happening again.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Boots, nice cowboy boots, men's and women's. And then the riding boots and dress boots for women. They have a lot of those.
Good.
They have a leather couch for $50.
Ooh. Good shape?
Good shape.
Good.
Big. Heavy.
Nice.
I don't want to lift it. Bring men.
Pro tip: if you own a lot of cats, leather couches are not your friend.
No. Mm-mm.
But if you don't have those, go out and help them out.
Yeah.
But if I got leather couches, maybe look at some of the microfibers or something that's a little more forgiving to the cats.
They have a 1987 Shinley dining room table. It does have the leaf.
Ooh.
And it's got 4 chairs. The fun part about this leaf, because Camille and I were messing with it the other day, so you unlock it from the bottom, and then when you pull it apart, the leaf interlocks underneath, so when you slide it, the leaf hangs, and then when you pull it, then you just pull it out.
So you don't have to store them in the closet.
You don't have to store them in the closet.
Encompassing.
Yep.
I love
and they've
smart
got
engineering.
the mechanics to it, so it slides in and locks in, and you can't even tell there's a leaf underneath it.
And so this is one of those passed down to generation type dining tables. Is
Yes.
what it sounds like. And you can get it dirt cheap probably at the Humane
They have
Society.
it for $400.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's probably, if you took it on the open market, probably worth a couple $1,000.
It is. And it's got the 4 chairs. The chairs are in great condition.
Good deal.
The table is in great condition. It's not scuffed up.
So
Beautifully.
families took care of it that owned it prior.
They
yeah.
did. They have a lot of kitchen appliances, so small appliances, coffee pots, microwaves, toaster ovens.
I'm going to take a stab that some of those things you send off your kids at college are broke by now and maybe need to replace the coffee maker or the microwave. Come on down to the thrift store. Let's do it for pennies on the dollar.
Yes. If you have animals at home and you want to get like little bedding and blankets for like their dog beds and stuff at home, they have a whole little section of what they're calling puppy blankets.
Okay.
And they're $2 a piece, and they're just like the maternity style blankets that somebody has made for animals.
Oh, nice.
This Saturday they're going to be half off all clothing only.
Ooh.
So hanging, baskets, everything that's clothing is going to be half off.
Of course, I just realized since today's Wednesday,
it's New Stuff Day.
Normally we visit
on
Thursdays. So in about 15 minutes, the 10 o'clock club is hanging out. They're probably already there, some of them. I don't know. They're probably not. I don't know if they're in line now because it is, well, it's 28. It's a little warmer today. Maybe they are hanging outside.
I don't know. My phone just says 36 now. 36 feels like 32.
But I'm going to take a stab that last Wednesday they probably weren't hanging outside very till. But anyway, the 10 o'clock, and that's something that is Wednesdays because the thrift store is not open on Mondays and Tuesdays because they use that day to restock, replenish, get her all fixed up for the next week. And so they open on Wednesdays at 10 for the week. And so through that, and so whenever there's new things, new stuff, new items, that Wednesday's the first day it kind of debuts on the shelves. So if you are if you're a regular and kind of looking for on the lookout for
fancies, books, etc.
Enjoy what I've dubbed the 10 o'clock club on Wednesdays.
Right. I wonder how many are sitting in their car listening to the radio or listening to us right now, being like, yeah, I'm one of them.
Enjoy your coffee.
Yeah.
You'll see Crystal in about 15 minutes.
Right. Well, Crystal got to go to Walmart and get donations first, and then you'll see me.
But
however,
Camille's there to open the shop.
Camille is there.
Yeah.
And if you have items that you would like to donate, call ahead, talk to Camille or whoever answers the phone, and you just say, hey, this is what I got. When can I bring it, or can you pick it up, etc. And that way they can arrange it for proper space. We have to limit how much we're putting in that back room because we cannot make it a fall risk for employees or
Makes
customers.
sense.
We don't want anybody to fall and get hurt.
Yeah, you got OSHA appliances to meet.
We have to make sure that wheelchairs and walkers can get through the areas comfortably without getting caught on anything.
Sure. It's a place where the public is at, therefore it has to be ADA compliant and
Yes.
all the bells and whistles that.
And so
required
if you
for public
have
spaces.
larger items or a lot of stuff, call ahead so that way Camille can say, okay, you know, let me take half now. I'll come pick it up, and then let me get some room situated and get the other half.
If
Just
you can work
because
with us, that'd be great. Yeah,
we are
that's
trying to, you know, get as much donations as possible to help run and function the facility, but also we don't want anybody getting hurt by having to pack it in and basically make it a trip hazard.
Sure, make it to where someone and a plus too. I know this always stirs a hornet's nest, but please remind folks: don't leave donations at the door. Do not. It causes more problems than good, and you know we've talked the videos. We've talked about this before, but please for safety, for security, and to make sure that your donation actually gets to do what it's you intended to do. Please get
Business
with Camille. And talk with her about any donations. Even if it's some clothing, just check with her first and say, hey, I got a bunch of, you know, gently used clothing here. Can you use it right now? She may say, is it women's clothing, men's clothing? I'm really loaded on that right now, but check with me in a week, and I would really, you know, work with her. Say, yes, I would, but I don't have room for it right now. Talk with me in a week or something.
Right. And then also...
And they'll come pick it up and everything else, too. That's the thing, too, is when, you know, they have the ability to come. So if you got a couch or something that's large that you can't throw in the back of your pickup or in your
or you
car,
need help.
or you need help, they can help you do all that. So.
And then one of the other things, we know we got a lot of backlash from us posting stuff on Facebook about the theft. We have made it very clear that if you are in need of something and you are cold, you need blankets, you need clothing, you don't have to steal it.
Yep.
Come inside, talk to Camille, explain your situation, and she will be more than happy to offer everything she can to help you.
As a matter of fact, she may even call the other thrift stores and put you in the radar and say, we don't have this, but you guys have something to help this person out.
We
you know
do.
what I mean? If you're looking for a certain thing or a certain deal, get in there and talk. They will. There is a community that's on the lookout for this kind of stuff. So rather than come in and steal stuff, and like we said last time we talked, if people are just coming in, going through the box, taking a shirt and leaving, that's not the problem. Problem is they're throwing it all over the place. They're destroying the donations. They're crazy. They're creating a unsafe and let's just face it, an unpleasant area for all the merchants and residents in that block area of that of the Humane Society.
And then we have people that just come and load, like if they see something outside, they load everything up.
This is the problem. It's
That's
not
the
the
problem.
occasional person coming and saying, I need a shirt and put on a shirt. And here's the other thing I also want to mention. I said on the radio here, but I'm not sure if you were here when I said it, is you guys are doing the actions of what you were told to by people, because you've gone to the police. You've done what you're supposed to do as a citizen of this town to do. And basically your instructions were, you know, it's overwhelming. We can't, you know, the best course we tell is publicly shame. Put them on your social media. See if that can garner. And that's exactly what you did at the advice of the police department.
Yes, the police department is the one that told us to take pictures, take them off of the video footage, and publicly shame, because...
And I understand where people are coming from on the one perspective, because I get people are issues, and, you know, people are having down times. We don't want to embarrass them. But at the same time, when it's a criminal issue, regardless of what's stemming it, we can't let it go unchecked.
No, and if you are having a downtime and you are, you know, in the ruts and you are just at wit's end and you need something, if you have kids or it's just you or it's you and your husband, talk to Camille. Yeah. Camille will be more than happy to help you, and you don't have to feel ashamed. You can ask her, hey, can I talk to you where nobody else can hear, so that way you're not having to tell your business to everybody.
Sure.
And she will take the time. She will go aside with you, and she will talk with you and help you in any way she can.
You're going to find that everyone that, whether they're paid or volunteer at the Humane Society, have big hearts. That's why they're in the business they're in.
Right.
I mean, yes, pets are probably the one seed, but they do share that love for humans as well. And if you come in there explaining your story, talking to them, coming in there hat in hand rather than what can I steal, you're going to get a much better response. You're going to get folks that are going to probably do more than you asked for at the end of the day. But that's just it. And this is the part that makes me really, I know people are saying their things and I'm like, you don't get it. Every single person on the Humane Society, every single thing going on at the Humane Society is A, correcting problems that society can't fix themselves because they're irresponsible. But B, they're trying to just help in any way. It's just literally they're just serving the community by doing things that, quite frankly, a lot of people in this town don't want to do.
And the community's just basically throwing it back in our face that they don't care.
And so that's why it makes me mad when people, I understand your empathy on this stuff. I really do. And I support that. But at the same time, when you're following instructions being told and you're at your wit's end on how to solve an issue that you can't, and everyone's just trying to do good, you've got to come from that angle and come to see that something has to be done about it. And so this is what's going on. So you can judge and yell all you want, or you can get on board and see if you can help us do this. So all those folks that had issue with the way they do it, I will say, well, then come talk to the Humane Society and say, how can we help you fix this problem instead of sitting and judging? If you want to help, if you want to fix, get off your Facebook page and get your ass into that building and help out.
Agreed.
Sorry, I'm sick in a cranky mood. So
at least it wasn't me today.
Everyone's got their opinions, and I'm like, all right, roll up your sleeves, and then we'll talk.
I agree.
Yeah.
And if you want to volunteer to sit in the parking lot at nighttime when we're closed and tell people you can't leave donations or collect the donations and hold on to them until staff comes in the morning or volunteers come in the morning.
Yep.
Great. But we don't have a lot of people offering to help us monitor our parking lot in the nighttime. That's why we have security cameras.
I lots of wonderful ideas. Come help us execute them.
Yeah, I agree.
So, sorry, I got soapboxing, got mad here, but it's one of the things.
It's okay.
Come shop at the thrift store. Come support. It's the best way to do it. Come right now. Head on that way. Let the 10 o'clock club in first because they've been there. But right behind them, get on in there and do some shopping and support. And if you're looking to adopt a pet for home, we didn't really get to talk about that so much, but. How are the cats and dogs? Good selection for families right now?
I have a transport tomorrow, so the kennels will only be open 10 to 12 tomorrow because everybody's coming in really early with me in the morning because I got to be on the road and in Albuquerque by 9.
Gotcha.
So the kennels will only be open 10 to 12 tomorrow.
Okay.
But we're open today 10 to 12, 1 to 4:30. You're welcome to come in. We have quite a bit of dogs. We have a few cats that are almost ready to come out of quarantine. So they're not quite there yet.
Check the website. You can.
Yes.
You can. Is it up or is it still a little cattywampus? I forgot about that. Yeah.
Ish. So some days it's great. Some days it's like, nah, not today. So it was allowing us to edit photos.
Okay.
However, it's not allowing us to edit dates all the time. So it might have an old date on it.
Okay.
But
you can kind of get a gist.
Yes. We are working on a new website.
Okay.
That's with the GoDaddy's new web designer.
Gotcha.
Because they updated the software and our website's no longer.
It's all nerd stuff. I get
it.
Is. I understand.
We're working on it.
I work in an area where I don't know all the nerd stuff, but I know. And so people are like, well, it's not working. And I'm like, is that nerd stuff? All right, then I'm good. I don't need to know all the extras.
So it's in the process. However, there are photos on there. Sometimes they load great. Sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
But that's just because our website was built on a way old server that is unfortunately no longer able to receive updates.
Well, it's technology, and
it is technology, and we have to advance with it.
Like if you're a Facebook user, like and follow the Humane Society on Facebook.
And then our Instagram. So
Instagram
apparently,
as well too.
You have to post on Instagram to go on Facebook to do the combo duo thing when you have Instagram and Facebook now.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's something new.
I allegedly have an Instagram account. I started years ago. I've not opened it. I don't know how to get into it. I don't know.
Right.
So I don't.
So this is new for us.
Yeah.
Patience, bear with us. Because we're trying, to reach more people.
Well, you got to stay up with the times.
We do.
And I don't know.
So
we're always behind the times anyway, but times-ish, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So we have a Facebook. We have an Instagram account. The thrift store has its own Facebook account. that when they get big ticket items, or something really rare and antique-y, that they post on their Facebook page too.
Come and get it.
So find both of the Facebook pages and like it. If you just have Instagram, you can find our Instagram.
Okay.
I don't know what
Humane
it is.
Society, Roswell Humane Society.
I think it's Roswell Humane Society.
I think you can do a search. I don't know Instagram that well, so I don't know.
It's going to be our logo that's got the spaceship with the cat and the dog in it.
Gotcha.
So look for that. Cool. And that's a new development. And we're still learning how to do the stuff.
Hey, any volunteers that know this stuff want to spend some time helping, teaching, and learning, or hanging out and doing?
Yes.
So,
if you are an Insta Ruru, call me.
Hey, and if you have emotional stress, we can put you in the family room and surround you with cats and dogs while you do it.
Yes, we have had actually a couple new volunteers that have been coming faithfully, and helping immensely. But we can always use dog walkers. The weather hasn't been the nicest lately, but
we'll put you in the family room and you can roll around the floor with them for a little bit. That'll be fun. So
Yep.
That stuff. Thank you as always, Crystal.
Thank you.
And we will see you here next time.
Yes, sir.
All right, 9:56. Quick break before they boot me off the air. Don't go away.
Hi, everyone. This is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture. Valentine's Day has been a time-honored tradition of expressing love and affection for the wonderful people in our lives. Why not honor them with the comfort and new smells of furniture from Glenn's? Leather, wood, and luxurious fabrics are beautiful reminders of how much they are loved for many years to come. Skip the roses and chocolates this year and give gifts that last. Come see us at Glenn's for Valentine's Day on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
Are you ready to succeed? The health education programs at ENMU Roswell can set you up for success with a wide variety of courses such as emergency medical services, fire science, medical assisting, nursing, and respiratory therapy. ENMU Roswell can prepare you for a rewarding career in the healthcare industry. ENMUR stacks courses in order to get the student into a job as quickly as possible while creating a pathway for more advanced certifications, licenses, and degrees. Eastern New Mexico University Roswell. Success starts here.
The new year, new ride sales event is on now at Roswell Nissan with 0 down, 0% APR available, and up to $4,000 more for your trade. Hundreds of vehicles in stock, and I-10s are welcome. Is your current payment too high? Roswell Nissan can help. Payoff too high? Roswell Nissan can help. Interest rate too high? Roswell Nissan has got you covered. Trade in your keys and trade up to a fresh ride in 2025 during the new year, new ride sales event on now at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
Central Valley Electric is continually learning and advancing technology that improves electric service, reliability, and safety, and in turn enhancing the quality of life for members that we serve in our local communities. CVE offers an account management program called Smart Hub that allows members to track their usage, set up convenient pay methods, and the ability to manage their energy use with smart technologies. A secure system such as Smart Hub is an easy tool to use. To sign up, visit cvecoop.org and click Smart Hub to get started.
So your pecans aren't as big and bountiful as they used to be? Well, what would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. Few people knew as much about pecans as Jim Gill. And if he were here today, he'd tell you it was time to fertilize. He'd tell you just what you need and show you how to use it. Then he'd make some joke about your neighbors making fun of your nuts.
So when there's trouble with your pecans, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
Picture this. You're behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor. You're effortlessly breaking ground, moving piles of rocks just by moving a lever, enjoying the sun as you clear brush across your pasture. We could keep trying to put you in the moment, but to really understand what this feels like, you just have to get in the seat.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
I'm John Scott. In Southern California, National Weather Service meteorologist Todd Hall says another round of dangerous fire weather conditions. Up to 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts are in the forecast.
We're looking at another Santa Ana wind event developing today through Thursday morning. And we're going to see an additional round of